Okay, here we are again. You know, I can't help but feel like there's something that they could do to liven up this title screen a little bit. Like, maybe I'm just senile in my old age, but I feel like there was a main theme of Pokemon that used to play on these title screens to get you hyped up to press the start button and jump back into your adventure. Oh wait, that main theme is in this game. It's just locked behind the post game and it doesn't unlock on the title screen until you're in the post game. Why does this game exist? Why does it exist to torment me like this? Let's see who's here. Pokemon. Yes, indeed, Pokemon. I want to be the very best. I don't know if I want to be the very best anymore. I think the game is striving for new lows rather than new highs with every passing stream. Oh, and we're digging further into the ditch today, that's for sure. Because the game has done nothing but string us along to interruption after interruption while we've been trying to get on our main quest of, beating the Elite Four. Strip away all those pieces, all those distractions, and what do you have left? That's what we're going to find out today. And, well, I hate to spoil the thesis statement of the next 3 hours in the first 5 minutes, but you strip away all those pieces, and unfortunately, you have a very, very barren video game that barely holds any form of, I don't even know if I want to say challenge. I don't know if I would expect challenge from this. Substance, I guess, is the better word. But I think I'm getting ahead of myself. How you doing, everybody? Welcome back to Pokemon Violet, the stream edition. That guy's out of class. That gal needs a new notebook. I need a hero because last time we beat one of the Team Star bases and the 7th and 8th gyms, all in the same stream. Also did a couple of school events, but the fact that we did the couple of school events means that now we have finals to take. This is the last time we'll have to do anything to do with the school stuff, because once the finals are over, there's just events with the teachers, and then that's it. No more classes, no more none of that till the post game. So at least that'll be done, at the very least. But we do need to get them all out of the way first and foremost, because if we wait, the last thing that we need to do as far as like quests-wise in the game is the final Team Star base up here in North Province Area 3. If we wait to do it, I mentioned this previously, if we wait to do it until after, wait to do the finals until after that's done, the school's front entrance gets blocked off by the very end of the Team Star quest, and we cannot proceed with it until basically after we beat the Elite Four, because the levels of the Pokemon in those final battles are about the same as the last part of the Elite Four. So yeah, each new game to understand the bugs and glitches inside. God, we're getting scrappy with it already, and it's been 10 minutes. Okay, final, and final. I'm going to have to take the languages final silently, because I probably have to either turn off the AC or approach the television in order to hear what Pikachu says in that, because there will be questions on how is Pikachu feeling right now, and I don't want to botch them, so I'll probably do that one, I'll move closer to the television rather than turning off the AC, because it's still pretty warm in here. Let's start with biology, since that's where we always start. I did not look up any of the answers to this, so whatever the heck happens is whatever the heck happens. I did the same thing with the midterm, so I said, it's fine, let's just take these exams legit and see how much I actually remember from what the game told me. We need to get 4 out of 5 questions correct on the final in order to pass, so let's see if it is difficult or not. How many of the following 4 methods make it easier to catch a Pokemon? Inflicting paralysis, using a Poketoy, feeding it a berry, surprising it from behind. Did we talk about a Poketoy at all? I mean, inflicting paralysis and surprising it from behind will definitely do that, but feeding it a berry and using a Poketoy. Poketoy is the one from like old generations that lets you run away. It's similar to a Pokédoll, right? So I'm gonna say, well, hang on, let me think. Yeah, I'm gonna say 2, inflicting paralysis and surprising it from behind. So, true or false? You can get new Pokemon only by catching them yourself or trading them with other trainers. That's false. You can get them from eggs and stuff. If a Pokemon is holding an Everstone, will using an item that induces evolution, such as a Firestone, cause it to evolve? We never tested this directly, but I would assume the answer to this is no. What is the probability of running into a shiny Pokemon? About 1 in 4,000. Used to be 1 in 8,000. Would have been a real dick move if they put that as one of the answers. But true or false? The Pokemon known as Oricorio has 3 forms. That's false. It has 4. This question won't affect your grade. Do you have anything you'd like to say about my class? I'm still getting used to this teaching thing, but I sure had fun as your teacher. Thank you for being our teacher. I mean, all of these are things you should be writing for a teacher like this, but I guess I could just say thank you. Well, I could say thank you, but I could also say, you can do it! So I think I'll encourage. Let's hope I don't have to, you know, retake that, but we'll see. I'm not particularly confident about that question with the Poketoy in it, but the rest of them I think I was pretty okay with. We'll see. If we don't get it perfect, I'm not going to be, like, stingy about it, you know? So, okay, that's fine. We passed. I'll take it. We did perfectly for the rest of this, so. And for passing the final exam, you get 5 medium experience candies. Which still feels like... Well, I mean, I guess that's 15,000 experience, so it's not atrocious, but... I don't know, it just feels like not much, considering it's the end of the classes, you know? Alright, math is next. So let's see what we have to figure out in the math. Not fun anymore, huh? You said it was going to be fun the last time. Apparently she has misconstrued that. How many Great Balls could you purchase with 3,000 Pokédollars if each one cost 600 Pokédollars? In this case, you'd get 5 of them. So, if a Water-type move with a power of 100 lands a critical hit on a Grass-type Pokemon, what will the move's power be? Okay, so it's Grass-type, so it's not very effective, so it gets cut in half to 50, but then it gets 1.5 times the power from being a critical hit, so it would be 75. Under normal conditions, what % chance does Stone Edge have to land a critical hit? So Stone Edge has an increased crit rate, so it's about 12%. If Pokemon uses Swords Dance twice to boost its attack by 4 stages, how much damage will its physical moves then do? So for every boost, it's 50%. So 2 boosts would be, you'd be at 2 times, so 4 boosts, you'd be at 3 times. So, yeah, so it'd do triple damage. If a Rock-type Pokemon whose Terra-type is Rock terastallizes, what will the power of its Rock-type moves be multiplied by? It's like an adaptability boost then, so it's 2 times multiplier. Oh, that's it. Okay. That was quick. I didn't even look at the numbers, honestly, other than, you know, the numbers of the math that I had to do. I wonder if these final exams are weighted in terms of their grades, because if they are, that bio final is probably going to weigh my grade down just a little bit. It's like you get 100 on every single thing through the entire semester, and then you get an 80. One of my classes from the last semester that I took, the exams alone, so there were 5 exams, but the exams themselves were worth 85% of your grade. So that meant each exam, since there was 5 of them, was worth, what was that, 17% of your final grade. So the stakes, noticeably so, were a little high on each exam. Thankfully, I did fine, but just, you know, you had to be on top of your game a little bit with that one. So that's why I'm wondering, like, how are they weighted? I don't think it matters as long as you pass. It's like, hey, here's the reward. The experience candies and the events. All right, we fall asleep in this class all the time, so let's see if falling asleep still allows me to absorb information. I say that like this is Persona 3 and I can actually fall asleep in class. So, all right, what is the area within the Great Crater of Paldea called? Area 0. The core. How many years ago was this academy founded? 805 years ago. Which of these did not appear in the Paldean fairy tale about the 4 treasures? Ooh, this one might be... Well, no, the folding fan looks out of place because there's a vessel... that I know the 4 vessels because I know the 4 Pokemon associated with the vessels. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And the vessel, the tablets, and the beads all sound familiar. The folding fan looks out of place. Which Area Zero expedition member wrote the record of the team's activities? That was Heath. And how many years ago did Professor Turo invent Terra Orbs? 10 years ago. Okay. That one wasn't so bad either. Yeah. Well, it's kind of important to have on a modern history exam. If you like teaching ancient history, then don't teach a general history class. Teach an ancient history class. Like, good lord, man. Already gonna put Tulip on the chopping block. Maybe I should put Miss Ryfor on the chopping block if I get involved in administration at this school. Okay, we got an 100 on it. That's good. So yeah, we're gonna ratchet up the experience candy medium today, but that's fine because I used up a bunch of it just off screen when I was doing a few, like... I was getting the team that never was, the team that I wasn't planning, or that I was planning on using, but I switched before I started the playthrough. I was getting them ready for the post-game events that I want to use them for, and I used up a little EXP candy because I ran out of ham sandwich when a few of them were at like level, like a couple levels away from being ready, and I was like, I don't feel like making another one and fighting like 4 Chansey just to get this. I'm just gonna use the candies I have. So, alright, the language is final. Like I said, I'm gonna go walk closer to the screen so I can hear Pikachu. So give me just a moment, and I will be back once we hopefully pass this exam. Actually, I wonder if Pikachu's gonna do the things that he did before, where he has like the ellipsis and everything like that. Maybe. Let me take a look before I go walk up to the screen. Hang on. Let's see. Which of the following means delicious? That's délicieux. The rest mean thank you. What do these 2 foreign phrases mean? Je t'aime, ich lieb dich. I love you. Based on what you just heard, what emotion do you think Pikachu was expressing? I'm gonna walk up to the screen now. I think this was the angry one, but let me just make sure. Hold on. Pretty sure that was the angry one. Now, when Pikachu says "Chia" in the anime, he's like hurt or something like that. But I'm gonna walk up to the screen again. Hold on. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens with those ones. We may have mixed them up, but we'll see. What is your beloved teacher's name? That's Salvatore. Not a Labrador. Posevo Stilos. Alright, so this is the one I was most concerned about. Let's see how we did. Yes, let's make the Pikachu questions obnoxious. That seems like a great idea. Let's just make the mascot the most obnoxious thing in this entire video game. Okay, 4 out of 5 is correct. That's good. I'll take it. That is absolutely fine by me, because we passed. Now, as far as I know, you can revisit the classes and retake the finals if you really want to, but I get the feeling if I click on that, I'm gonna have to scroll through like a list of all 53 other classes that I've taken here, so let's just move right along, shall we? And yes, I forgot to mention it earlier, Pad and Chris, hello. Welcome. Hope everybody's doing okay. Helloing with dinner, AFK. Sounds like a plan. You get yourself some dinner. That sounds good. Alright. Battle studies final. Then 2 more, and then we're done. We don't gotta think about it anymore. other than the events that happen afterwards. Okay. I took a look, by the way, at something because... So Miss Dendra has her Medicham in, like, every class, and you also see her Medicham in the ESP exercises. Medicham is actually not her signature Pokemon because she has, like, a whole team that you can battle in the postgame. But Medicham's not her signature Pokemon, so, like, it makes me wonder why they just didn't make it her signature Pokemon. Like, I think if I remember it, it's Hariyama is her signature Pokemon, but, like... Why not just make Medicham the signature if it's in every one of her classes? It's just some random mook on her team, but it's in every one of her classes. So, I don't know. Which cheer boosts attack and special attack for all allies during a terror raid battle? That would go all out, I think. What do we call the battles the Pokemon sent out with the R button do on their own? Those are auto battles. How should you obtain LP? Well... You can exchange materials. I feel like take on gyms wouldn't really get you them, and hack the system, not a good idea. I'm a criminal. I put it on my exam. Maybe just wanted to surprise you. I don't know. Yeah, that's possible, I guess. And I mean, it could just be because, you know, of the connection between her and Tulip as well. I don't know. So... I noticed that the minute hand, I'm looking at the clock just now above the questions and answers there. I'm noticing that the minute hand is moving, but the second hand is not. I think they need to get a maintenance person on that. High-level Pokemon are adjusted to what level when using flat rules in Link battles, level 50. When using normal rules in Link battles, you can use multiple Pokemon of the same species and multiples of the same held item. I think that's false. That I would have to revisit in order to know for sure. But if we get that one wrong, then, well, we still passed the exam, so I don't care. Marie, hello and goodbye. Have fun with school, need to sleep for work. Yeah, you get some sleep then. So that you aren't all sleepy for work, we are almost done with the school stuff. Just a couple more exams and then we're done. So, yeah. That's what I figured. Alright. 5 more experience candies medium to add to my pack. And now the art final. And then the home ec final. So the 2 finals that hopefully won't be... I feel like, honestly, I feel like when you have an art final and a home ec final, those are mostly free, but like... I guess we'll see what the questions entail. What is the name of the restaurant where you can change Pokemon's Terra type? That's the Treasure Eatery. I haven't done that yet. I can demonstrate it at some point, though. Probably after all these events are done, I'll demonstrate it. What is the name of Brassius' signature art installation that we discussed in class? That's Surrendering Sunflora. How many waterfalls are counted among the 10 sites of Paldea? Casaroya Falls and Fury Falls. I think that's it. Let me think. Grand Olive Orchard, Colonnade Hollow, Fury Falls, Casaroya Falls, the Million Volt Skyline, the one we haven't gotten yet, Glaciado's Grass, Paldea's Highest Peak. I'm blanking on the last 2, but I'm fairly sure there's... Oh no, there's the Leaking Tower, and then... one we've gotten already. I think there's 2. Where can you find the Million Volt Skyline, Levincia? The marks a Pokemon has are present when you first meet and none can be added later. That's false. Okay. Yeah, you can change Terra types in a restaurant. Yeah, so the restaurant where you did the Medali Gym, you can actually change your Terra types. It requires 50 Terra Shards, though, so... And you only get 3 at a time when you pick them up in the overworld, which... They're, like, in fixed locations. You don't pick them up at random in the overworld. You can only win Terra Shards from some post-game events and some high-level raids, so it's not the best, but... Yeah, I checked out Koromon. Actually, I looked at it and I said, this looks familiar for some reason. Why does this look... I mean, obviously it looks familiar because it's very similar, like, the... turn-based style is very similar to Pokemon, but I think a friend of mine actually streamed it right when it came out. I remember him getting to, I think, the first Titan, and then he ended up, I don't know if he dropped it or if he just got busy and couldn't stream it anymore. I forget exactly how it worked, but I think he streamed it right around when it came out. The sprite work looks really good in it, though. I like how the sprites look. That's cool. So I might check it out at some point. Probably not soon, because this playthrough is going to completely Pokemon me out, but yeah, I might check it out at some point in the future. We'll see. Well, we'll let you know how that goes soon there, Mr. Hassel, because you're a member of the Elite Four, so you'll know exactly what my future looks like soon enough. All right, one more test. And the art final, like I said, was fairly free, so nice. So one last test. And we'll do all the events, and then that'll be it for this quest line, quote-unquote. Yes, I am Pokemoning it. I am Pokemoning it too much, because this game is too much Pokemon. Or maybe it's just too boring, I don't know. But I'll be Pokemoned out by the time this one's over. Yeah, Terra, more like terror. Yeah, I don't know why they made it so expensive. Like, maybe make it 5 Terra Shards and make it so that each fixed Terra Shard in the overworld and each, like, raid that you do only gives you 1. You know what I mean? Like, then it's like, okay, you still have to do raids. It's not like you're getting them for nothing, but, like, you have to get them 3 at a time and you have to get 50. That means it's not even an even amount. Like, you do, let's see, 52 divided by 3 is what? Like, 30 is 10, 60 is... Or no, it's 51 divided by 3, because then 54, 57, 60 is 20. So that would be 17. You have to do 17 raids just to get enough Terra Shards, but you get 3 of them at a time, so you have 1 left over by the end of it. Like, what? Why even do that? Like, you're just gonna... Not only are you making it obnoxious to get all of them, you're also activating people's OCD while you're at it. Like, do you enjoy making people suffer? Come on now. Anyway, last test. Which of the following meal powers makes it easier to come across shiny Pokemon? That would be Sparkling Power, I think. I've never used that, but it's probably Sparkling Power. Which of the following is not an effect of Egg Power? Makes eggs hatch faster, helps hatch strong Pokemon, makes eggs easier to find. No, the strong Pokemon one. That's based on the parents, not the Egg Power. What is a simple yet important tactic for increasing the effectiveness of meal powers? Make food with others. What is the correct action to take when your adorable Pokemon become dirty? Pokemon wash. This is a question about Academy rules. Should you change your uniform tops and bottoms to properly match each season? That doesn't matter, though aesthetically it probably makes sense to do that, yeah. Yikes. 17, that's prime. Only prime in number, not prime in importance. Anyway. Oh, a little bit of give and take in this exam, huh? Alright, so anyway, that's it. Final exams are done. Let's check our score. Hopefully pass the last one so I don't have to repeat. I mean, it doesn't matter if you have to repeat it. It's like 5 minutes at the most, but I mean, that took 2. And I was dilly-dallying, so... And there we go. Exams are done. Got a couple of 80s, but that's okay. We finished it all out. Yes, I have. And for finishing that out, the director gives you 5 large experience candies, which is a little more like it. That's 50,000 experience points right in your pocket. And yeah, now the treasure hunt is, according to her, the only thing we have left on the docket. But of course, with the treasure hunt, we've already gotten all of the gym badges, so like we don't have to worry about that part. We just have to worry about the last Team Starbase. And I have a plan for how I'm going to focus on doing that, so we'll come back to that in a little bit. Let's see, so Mr. Rhyfor's there, Stendra's there, Hassel, Salvatore's there, Saguaro is there, it's Times in the schoolyard. We'll start with Miss Rhyfor, why not? Because she's right here, so I might as well. And you know what? Before we go and see the other events, we should also probably read the last 3 chapters of the Violet book, since I'm here, and I just remembered that I need to do that, so... get some grilled Lechonk. Oh, they do, in fact. They probably eat Pokemon quite... I mean, obviously, we've seen it in other Pokemon games. Magikarp is eaten quite frequently, from my understanding, in other Pokemon games. So I wouldn't imagine Lechonk is any different. So... okay. What makes you think that's a reliable source? It's hearsay. It's word of mouth from a carpenter. Okay. Well, I have seen some weird glowing sticks that have been sticking out of the ground, so maybe those are the stakes that you're talking about. Yeah, if you've been wandering around the map, we may have seen... I think we may have seen, like... Well, we saw the purple shrine. I don't know if we saw any purple stakes, but if you wander around in, like, a radius... within a radius of the actual seal, there are 8 stakes somewhere nearby that you can pull out of the ground if you so choose. I haven't pulled any of them out of the ground yet because I wanted to wait until she tells us about this event before doing it, because then I'd forget and be like, oh, yeah, I don't remember if I pulled that out or not, so... You would release untold malice and evil on the world. Yeah, why are your eyes lighting up about that? That's literally bioterrorism. It's an ancient super weapon. No! They literally know nothing but malice in their hearts. You said so yourself. Why would you want to free No! No, they will destroy everything. Why would you want to do that? No, it's not heartless of me. They are heartless. There is nothing that will... It's not about the Pokemon. They will kill everything, okay? They are literally malice given form from hundreds of years of stooping in it. Like, they're mired in the malice. They will destroy everything if given the opportunity. Like, why would you want me to do... Why are you trying to rope me into doing this? Should I call the police? Because you're getting arrested today, Miss Ryfor. I don't know how true that is. You can remove the stakes as early as before you even start the game. If you skip over to, like, well, not before you even start the game, but before you even get to school, if you skip into Area 4 by doing that little skip with the cliff, so. Oh, okay. Fair enough. So yeah, there's the seals. We've seen one of them already on screen. Gee, I wonder why that is. Yeah, that's not the treasure that I'm looking for, actually. You know, if I'm quite honest with you, I may end up investigating these shrines, but I'm not investigating them for the reasons that she wants. What she wants me to do is investigate the shrines, capture the Pokemon, and bring them back here so she can see them. But if they're biological super weapons that can cause domestic eco-terrorism across the entirety of Paldea, I'm going to kill them. I'm going to cause them to faint, and they will never come back. No, that's not true. They respawn every day. But I will cause them to faint, at the very least. Magikarp is all bones, though. It's just Magikarp shaped. I wonder what they feed Magikarp to make it more, like, fat and, like, not just bones like that, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not just basically like a sardine. Like, I wonder what they feed the Magikarp to do that. Malice, like Legend of Zelda Malice with the monsters? I guess something like that. I mean, this game took inspiration from Breath of the Wild, so I can't imagine that being too far off from the truth. Alright, there's 3 more of these that we didn't read. This is the last one. So, generous sponsor, about the author, and... So. Our generous sponsor, the author Heath, pictured with the director of UVA Academy. The Academy's generous funding made the Area Zero expedition possible, and the data gathered has been shared with the Academy in hopes that it will aid in the institution's research work and foster future generations of scholars and scientists. Fair enough. Feed him fish cakes, yeah, something like that. About the author. Well, now we know which one was Heath. Heath, author of the Violet Book, shown here with his partner Cyclozar. A natural historian as well as a writer, he was chosen for the Area Zero expedition and penned this account upon returning from the Great Crater of Paldea. Cyclozar aided the expedition as well by bearing the team's luggage and equipment. What an important job. You could have gotten a Mudsdale to do that, and it would have probably been happier to do it. So, do you think Heath wrote this page in the third person? I feel like that'd be kind of weird to write, but then again, I've never written an autobiography, so I wouldn't know. Okay, this one. Alright, what the Ni no Kuni is that supposed to be? While the team and the creators, I found whether it was or even at all, it bore with the layers of and then still stone. As a whole, it. That's really helpful, Heath. Thanks. What kind of garbled nonsense was that supposed to be? Who redacts the Violet book? Like, was that done by his editors or what? But yeah, so Miss Ryfor is going to stay in the entrance hall now, and she'll wait for you to catch all 4 of the Pokemon that are sealed in the shrines and bring them back to her. Once you do that, you've completed her quest. It's also the only way in the entire game to get the TM for Nasty Plot, if you want to get that. And it also reveals her to be effectively, I'm just going to tell you because we're not going to do the event, it just kind of reveals her to be have some evil tendencies. I don't know if B is the right word. She has some evil tendencies, if that wasn't immediately obvious by the fact that she wants you to commit domestic eco-terrorism. But yeah, and then the Nasty Plot TM. And then nothing comes of it ever again because she isn't present, as far as I'm aware, in any of the DLCs except for as like an invite at Blueberry Academy, where she gives exactly no bearing on the story whatsoever, and you just battle her. So, thanks, Pokemon, for the untapped potential. It's not like there wasn't mountains of that already in this game. Where's Louis Pickman when you need him? He'd know how to eat Pokemon. Probably. Alright, Miss Dendra, what are you doing in the school store? Sure, something like that, but I can see you while I'm at it. Gotta see if they've still got, like, I mean, imagine they still have Moo Moo Milk, but I should see what they have available with all 8 gym badges. Oh, okay. So, what happened to sandwich making training? Yeah, I suppose that would make sense. It's something new that you're not really used to, I guess. Alright, well, don't take a break for too long. That's how you lose your workout routine, Miss Dendra, but you knew that already, so... Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, you should tell her that. I feel like it would be a good boost to her ego that she could use, considering she's trying to pass her health certification. Or her teaching certification, excuse me. She's already a health professional. Well, I don't know if you weren't cut out for it. You just need to keep practicing it. Okay, I guess you could just double down on the thing you're already good at. This is a problem that happens a lot in this school, and actually it concerns me because, like, I said the last time that Nemona's entire character development, quote-unquote, is locked behind the post-game, and her character development is basically her saying, so I'm only good at one thing, and people at the school hate me for it, so I doubled down and kept being good at that one thing rather than branching out. And that's a problem because, like... You know what the one thing you don't do when you're really good at one thing and, you know, you're lonely because you can't make good friends by being really good at that one thing? You don't keep doing that one thing to the exclusion of everything else. You branch out a little bit. And these people are not providing Nemona with a good example, so she has no frame of reference to branch out. Like, what? Anyway, we'll talk about that more when we actually see her character development for the 5 seconds that it happens in the post-game. But anyway, for helping Miss Dendra out, she'll give you 10 proteins. That's like $25,000. Okay, I'll take that. I feel like you should fill your protein with something other than the protein, like, powder that you just gave me. You should make a balanced meal. Let's see what you got. Okay, so still Moo Moo Milks. They sell max potions and full restores here. Whole bunch of Pokeballs. This is just the stuff they have at the shops, though. Like at the regular Pokemarts. Okay. I mean, I guess that's fine, but I thought they'd have something exclusive. Apparently not. Alright, so that takes care of Miss Dendra's events. She's all done. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're all set. Alright, cool. Take a drink out there. Raising my voice, which makes my voice box go, hey, you need to hydrate now. Oh, anyway, Mr. Hassel, Hi there. Oh, what's happening this time? Something going on? Well, you see, this is happening because she has appeared from nowhere. Mr. Hassel? But I'm not gonna be the leader of the family. You can shove it. I mean, I think he's saying that your lineage can be more than just a bunch of dragon tamers. They can branch out. See, this is why I like Mr. Hassel, because he's branching out, right? He was an excellent dragon tamer to the point where he was going to take over his family's lineage of dragon tamers, and he decided, no, you know what? This isn't what I want to do with my life, and he branched out. Like, that's the thesis statement that everyone needs to have here, because when you just do the one thing, again, to the exclusion of everything else, yeah, I can imagine that would be a pretty lonely existence, because it's lonely at the top, as it turns out. So that's my priority now. And there's that too. Gotta do something that's fun. Okay, ma'am, I'm begging you right now. I am gonna get on my knees and beg you. Please, pull the stick out of your ass for 5 seconds, okay? I can see it. It is chafing you all the way down. Please pull the stick out of your ass. Okay, just let him carry it somewhere else. That's fine. Ah, I guess he did some research, huh? Wah, wah. So that wasn't true then, that your father's health was deteriorating. I mean, it's fine. I'm glad that you stood up for yourself. It's about time somebody did. Can we get, like, special vitamin water or something for coming here? That would be nice, yeah. Like, maybe the, like, being able to buy proteins or something like that. Maybe in limited quantities, you know what I mean? But maybe be able to buy protein or carbose or calcium or something like that. I mean, you could do it in other Pokemarts. Like, if you look at the department stores and other games, it's like, yeah, those are available for sale. They're expensive, but, excuse me, they're available, so. Well, I'm glad I could help. Your gratitude's enough, Mr. Hassel. And for finishing Mr. Hassel's whole quest line, he gives you 50 Dragon Terra Shards. So if you want to change your Pokemon's Terra type to Dragon, this is the easiest way to do it. Just finish out your schoolwork for your art classes, and there you go. Now you can change your Terra type to Dragon. It's actually kind of nice for certain Pokemon, because there is a guaranteed pseudo-legendary. I think it's Frigibax, if I remember correctly, because Baxcalibur is the fully evolved version of the pseudo-legendaries in this line, in this game. There's a guaranteed one that's a Terra Pokemon that spawns on Glaciato Mountain, but it has a Terra type of Dark, which, it's not bad, but it doesn't really help it. So if you catch that one, and then you want to switch its Terra type to Dragon, because it has this really, really powerful 120 base power Dragon type move that it can spam every turn. It's not like Outrage where you lose control of it. You can just use it over and over again. You can change its Terra type to Dragon, and now you have something with about as much attack power as Haxorus using a 120 base power Dragon type move that gets an adaptability boost. Like, that's nuts. That's absolutely insane, the amount of power that would have behind it. I mean, you can catch other Frigibacks that obviously will just have the Dragon, could have the Dragon Terra type, but I think they're Ice Dragon for the whole evolutionary line, so it could end up with the Terra type of Ice instead, and then, well, now you have an option. Or, you know, if you get a Garchomp and its Terra type is Ground, but you want it to be Dragon, you can switch that over, but I don't know, Ground feels like a better Terra type than Dragon. Dragon's, like, really neutral. That's kind of been its whole thing since it was introduced, is it's very neutral. It's like an upgrade to normal type moves, basically, in that it hits most things neutrally and just really hard. But, you know, whatever you want to do. Oh, you have? I know Sweet Herba Mystica. We used that to correct the health of a Mabostiff not too long ago. Well, I did find it, but we kind of ate all of it already. Whoops. My bad. So yeah, this is Mr. Saguaro's quest line is you have to find a sweet Herba Mystica. The problem is you can't find a sweet Herba Mystica until the post-game unless the game has a mystery gift event going on that allows you to take a sweet Herba Mystica. For some reason they have a mystery gift event it lets you choose between a sweet Herba Mystica and a salty Herba Mystica. And I don't know anybody who would take the salty Herba Mystica in that situation because you could do the mystery gift as early as when you begin the game, so then you automatically have the sweet one so you can finish this side quest. And I forget what he gives you. I think he gives you a special plate for your picnics, which seems like a really ridiculously silly reward for something that you have to get a rare ingredient in the post-game normally to get, but whatever. So we won't be finishing that one either. So we won't be finishing Mr. Jacques, we won't be finishing Miss Ryfor's, and we won't be finishing Mr. Saguaro's. But thankfully Mr. Salvatore's is just about done, and then Miss Times is just about done. So we can in fact finish both of those. I think Nurse Miriam has something else to say, and Director Clavel as well, but like I think those are later once we finish out the Team Star storyline, like including the final events. So, could you please find me a sweet Herba Mystica? Ate it. What? Ate it. I ate it already. It's all gone. This poor Eevee needed a nap. I'm not even going to interrupt it to look at it waking up. That seems mean. Hey, Mr. Salvatore, how's Palmy doing? Well, that's good. Good to hear. Still not talking, though, huh? That's okay. Maybe it has a quiet nature. Yeah, you know, that's true. Well, I mean, he doesn't have to worry about those things in the academy because they handle all the food for him. They feed him, and there won't be any predators here. I hope. Yeah, that might be a problem, I guess. Maybe he just wants to stay here. Maybe that's why he's being so quiet. I think he belongs with you, Mr. Salvatore. If I remember correctly, though, even because I think... No, you don't have to complete this event to do the post-game storyline where you can fight Mr. Salvatore in a battle. So that means that this Palmy never makes it onto his team, which is kind of sad, honestly. Like, I wish it did end up on his team, although I guess if you know, didn't do any of your classes, then did the tournament, and then decided to do your classes, it'd be kind of like a time paradox going on, but I kind of wish it ended up on his team. It would make this whole thing, like, feel full circle, you know what I mean? Yeah, probably. Well, maybe he belongs with you. You never know. Might as well ask him. Well, he seems to like that idea. De nada. Pas de problème, even. And he does, in fact, mean rare. So rare, it's not even in the Pokédex? A Meowth? Huh, I thought it was something rarer than that. Well, anyway. Yeah, you get a Meowth for having finished Mr. Salvatore's questline, which is also not his signature Pokemon, but as you'll see in a moment, there is a reason why he gave you... This Meowth is not your typical Meowth. This is a Galarian Meowth from Gen 8, and it is not available anywhere in this entire video game unless you trade one from Sword and Shield into Pokemon Home and then all the way over to here. And it evolves into Berserker, which is not in the Paldean Pokedex. So it is, as far as I'm aware, the only Pokemon that you can capture in this game that has an evolution that is not in the Pokedex in this game. It's also a pure Steel type, so if you're not a big fan of Q-Fant and Caparaja, well, you're going to be waiting a while to get this one because it takes until 7 gym badges to finish the languages class, but you can, in fact, get yourself a Galarian Meowth. I'm going to stick that with the rare Pokemon over here, and then evolve it into a Berserker. I like Berserker, actually. I used it in my original playthrough of Pokemon Sword. Granted, I didn't, like, fully finish that playthrough because I thought Pokemon Sword was really boring, but I did use it, and I did evolve it into Berserker, and it was a pretty good Pokemon, all things considered. Maybe not the best Steel type in that game, but it's kind of hard to beat Aegislash, you know? So, Once you include Aegislash into the video game, most other steel types kind of crumple just a little bit. Even Bisharp, because Sacred Sword is like one of the main 3 things that you stick on an Aegislash. So, alright, last one. Miss Time is over here. Speak with her, get her event done, and then that's it. We're done with the school events until the post-game. So. Oh, is your friend... Yeah, I was going to say. Is your friend trying to find you? You're making an ambush. It's an ambush, Jack. So you're going to give back a little of that lack of pleasantness? Or are you just trying to make sure that you catch her this time? Oh, there she goes. Alright, what's your problem? If you have a question, just ask the question. Yeah, that's more than a little creepy. Okay, well, that's a good thing. You know, this 1.5 years ago thing, I feel like we heard something about it recently, but I can't remember. Well, maybe she's under a non-disclosure agreement. Maybe there was something specific with the Pokemon League that she had to do in order to not, like, make it, because she couldn't make it public. And that's why you've been following her around all the time, because you just couldn't work up the courage, huh? So maybe she was doing 2 things at once, and it was getting too much of a hassle. Because you can't go back, or... I mean, I guess your sister's kind of doing the whole gym circuit now, and the rock type is kind of taken up by one of the Titan Pokemon, but, you know. Yeah, fair enough. So I wonder if that means that she was the gym leader in Montenevera before this, but if that's the case, did the town change its aesthetics after she retired, and they've gone to the whole ghost type aesthetic in the 18 months it's been? Or did nobody think this through? Because I get the feeling it's more closer to the latter. Use the honorific. Okay, well, case closed then, I guess. You did? I mean, it didn't sound unnatural for what it was worth. Well, I'm glad I could be your moral support. I have a knack for that, apparently. And for finishing Miss Time's questline and all the math classes, she gives you 50 Rock Terra Shards. So now if you want your Pokemon's Terra type to be Rock, you can do so. And again, if you decided, I think I mentioned this previously, but there is a wild Terra type Rockruff with the own Tempo ability, not too far from Medali. If you decide to catch that, its Terra type is Psychic, which is fine, but not great. If you decide to catch that and you want to swap that over so that it's got a Rock type Terra, you could do these classes and get all these Rock Terra Shards. Apparently I haven't gotten these before, so there you go. Excuse me. And actually the Rock Terra Shards are something that I'm going to use to demonstrate, because we have not been back to the Treasure Eatery since we finished out our time in Medali fighting Larry, so let's go back so I can show how this whole process of changing Terra types works. But yeah, so all the classes are done. Again, the events that we won't be finishing, Mr. Saguaro's, Miss Rhyfor's, and then Mr. Jacques are in... I forget if he's in the biology lab or something, but he's not going to be available until we get all 400 Pokemon. And that will be never, so he won't be available again until afterwards. Actually, no, hold on. I gotta... One last time we gotta do this, so let me get the camera right behind me. There we go. So we can glitch it out on our way out of the school. There we go, because we won't see that again. Not for quite a while, anyway. Alright, so now that we got all the school stuff all set, let's go show off changing Terra types first. and here's the Pokemon League. We can just go straight up there. And actually, for what it's worth, I checked to see if it was doable at these levels, the Pokemon League and the Elite Four, and it's totally doable at my levels. I'd need to use healing items in order to survive some things, or rather just heal up from some things, but it's totally doable at this level. We're just going to get ourselves a little bit more prepared so that it's less healing items used, that's all. All right. So, Treasure Eatery is right over here. Let's head inside. And actually, while I'm thinking about it, let's get out the Pokemon I actually want to change the Terra type for. Originally, the plan of action here was I was going to give Cacturn the Rock Terra type, but as you may recall, we lucked out completely, and it already has a Rock Terra type when we caught it as a Terra Pokemon. So, yeah, it's already good and ready to go, so I'm going to need another volunteer. And the other volunteer that I can think of, your Terra type is Rock already, right? Yeah, so you're not a good volunteer for this one. But I thought of another volunteer anyway. This team here, this team of 6 right here, has high enough levels from this because I was planning on raising them to be the 3rd team that I do a post-game event, like the post-game event with. I'm not sure if I'm going to use them yet, honestly, because I don't know if I feel like getting all of the... I think they mostly have their TMs all set and ready to go, but I don't know if I feel like getting the rest of the TMs ready. That being said, Umbreon here is a good volunteer for this purpose because it has the normal Terra type, which is not particularly helpful for it. So let's change it to something a little more helpful, shall we? Because, yeah, we could use... And I need to get a Psychic TM, basically, to replace the Stored Power TM, or, yeah, Stored Power TM that I used on it. But I already used my Psychic TM on Yukiko, as you can see here. So, you know, I'd have to go get the materials for it. And I just don't know if I feel like doing that, if I'm honest. I'm getting more and more lazy as this playthrough goes on, I think, at least when it comes to this game. Although, to be fair, I think it's boring me out of my mind, so, like, that could be possibly what it is. So, like, that's the thing with video games. Like, if they're boring me, I tend to put less effort into them because they're boring me. Like, when there's something interesting or unorthodox I can do with them, then I try to do that because it's interesting to me and it keeps me from feeling bored with it. But when there's just nothing that can intrigue me about the game and I get bored with it, that's when I start to think about, okay, I'm going to put in the minimum amount of effort, you know? Anyway. But yeah, so once you beat Larry, she'll make a dish that changes your Pokemon's Terra type. She needs 50 Terra Shards, because apparently she's going to use them to cook the dish or something. I don't know. And from beating Larry, she'll actually give you 50 normal Terra Shards. So if you want to change your Pokemon's Terra type to normal, you can do that as well. So there you go. But anyway, I'm not looking to feed the normal Terra type to anybody, actually. So I do have some Terra Shards for you. I have Rock Terra Shards. And I will feed the Rock Terra Shard dish. Oh, I didn't have to get it out of the PC. I thought I would have to. But let's feed it to Umbreon there. Yes, please. Give it Power Gem, please, because it can't learn it on its own. And there we go. Now Umbreon's Terra type is Rock, and that is it. It's literally that easy. And I say it like it's that easy, but you need to get 50 Terra Shards before you can do it, so it's really not that easy. But yeah, so now Umbreon is effectively half of Tyranitar at any one time, only, you know, lacking severely in the attacking department. But, you know, at least it's an option for it if I decide to use it for the post-game event. I, again, don't know if I'm going to do that. The problem with this team that I had as well is that it's very defensively oriented. Like, Toxapex is very defensive, Umbreon's very defensive, Spidops is defensive, Dragonair would have an Eviolite, Iron Treads is a little more offensive, but still has high physical defense, and Mismagius, same sort of thing, only on the special side. So there's not really a lot of, like, offense, like, fast or, like, I guess Mismagius and Iron Treads are pretty fast, but not really a lot of, like, physical or special attackers that are focused on that, you know what I mean? They're more focused on bulk, which, I don't know, it's just not a balanced team, and I'm not really sure if I want to use it for anything in the postgame, so. But maybe I will, you know? Never know. We'll see. Alright, so that's enough of that distraction stuff. We did all of the class stuff. We did all of, or rather, we changed our Pokemon's Terra type. So now, the main things that I have left to do. Well, we need to get ready to challenge the Pokemon League, and we have one Team Starbase left to do. My plan, basically, is we're going to finish all of the trainers that I want to fight in the Dali Zappa Passage and Glaciato Mountain areas, because the actual... Oh, there's an outbreak of Frigibacks. I was just talking about them. The actual trainers that I want to fight on Glaciato Mountain are actually closer to Montenevera. Most of the trainers that are on this side of the mountain, from the south and east sides here, their Pokemon are they either have one Pokemon or their Pokemon aren't particularly strong. If you go down the mountain from Montenevera back to this Pokemon Center, you go down the mountain and around the bend here to get back here. The trainers there have either multiple Pokemon in their teams or they're a little stronger. Both of the tough trainers are on that side for reference. So we're going to kind of go and do that. And then once we do that, we'll be not too far away from North Province Area 3, where the final Team Starbase is. So that'll let us kind of have a good excuse to go down there, take care of that. And then there's also the trainers in North Province Area 3 and the lighthouse. There's actually a lighthouse that's next to this Terra Electric Terra Den here. And that, as far as I'm aware, is a fly point, so we need to go get that. And in order to get that, we need to beat the Team Starbase, so we'll do that. The other thing, though, is that you'll notice that there are now shrines on your map. As an example, here's the Ground Blight Shrine. We can't fly to these yet, but they're set here because Mr. I4 put them here for us, so now we can see where they are. And then anything in the direct radius of these, if you see any stakes, they'll be based on these shrines specifically. Now, I have not looked up where the stakes are, personally, and we're probably not going to do anything with them until later on in the game, possibly even not until post-game. Because the Pokemon that you find in these shrines are level 60, which is higher than the level of any of the Pokemon that we find in any of the trainer battles from now until, well, the rest of the entire game. So, probably we won't be exploring those shrines and looking up the stakes until either, like, right before we fight the Elite Four, if I really need the experience, but I don't think I will, or the post-game, more likely. So... But we'll see what happens when we do that. Alright, so anyway, main thing we need to do now, there's two trainers I want to fight in Dali Zappa Passage. They're both of the tough trainers, so let's go find them. And, yeah, from here, essentially, the main goal, the main objective of the next 2 hours-ish is going to be just padding out the levels of my Pokemon so that they are getting ready to challenge the Elite Four. So that's the gist of what we're going to do. We have, at this point, again, stripped away all of the distractions, and the only thing left for us is just fight trainers until the cows come home, basically. Now, I don't actually know if these tough trainers are considered the tough trainers of Dali Zappa Passage, or if they're considered tough trainers of Glaciato Mountain, but there's already two in on Glaciato Mountain itself. So I'm going to assume these count towards Dali Zappa, but we've already gotten the reward for Dali Zappa, so I'm not really super concerned about it. Let's see if I remember where this kid is anyway. It's around here somewhere, but heck if I know exactly where. Actually, not heck if I know. I think he's like up here-ish. So let's just put that there. Is that a wild Flareon over there? Looks like it. Yeah, and I guess that would make sense because there's a wild Flareon on a mini-map there, too. Not this artist, but I think I'm close. Because I think the kid is near this artist, if I remember correctly. It's a student, if I'm recalling correctly. Not a Vigoroth, a student. Somewhere around here, though. Nope, that's a Deerling. And that's a wild Terra-type Espathra that will run after me if I get too close. What's back here? Oh, Electro Ball. Another one? God, they just throw those everywhere, don't they? 3-star Terra Ghosts to Viper. Interesting. But I'm through catching Pokemon, so I don't think I need to concern myself with that. Let's see. Well, I know the other tough trainer is right around the mountainside here. Just don't know where the other kid is. He's got to be around here somewhere, though. I probably should have looked up his exact location, which I guess I could look at the map if I really want to, but... Well, I know where the other one is vaguely, so let's go find her first. And then we can go back for the kid. This is the other one right here. So we'll fight her first, because she's asking the difficult question of, what is art? I don't know that there is any correct answer to that. I think art is what you make of it, but, you know. Well, I think losing your way is part of the figuring out what art is to you, isn't it? Like, it's natural to try to, like, figure that out as you go. Anyway, she has a white flower of Florges. That's cool. Let's just send in Roxas to punch it in the face. Ruin the flowers for quite some time, because as far as I know, this poison doesn't wash off. Okay, I'll take that. In case I get a little bit of, need a little bit of leftovers. Why not? Here you go. I'm sure the Go-Go would appreciate the grassy terrain as well. Bruxish, huh? Alright, fair enough. Let's see. Water Psychic. What can I switch in on that? I'll just switch in the Captain. I mean, it's going to be a physical attack. Well, let me think. I could switch in Houseplant as well. I'll switch in Houseplant. Why not? She's got the grassy terrain as well to help her. So this Giga Drain will definitely one-hit KO, but, you know. Yeah, I guess I'm not particularly physically tanky, but that's fine. Can Psychic Fangs flinch? No, guess I won't find out today. Because, like, most Fang moves can cause a flinch, so, you know. Might be worth thinking about. Not today, though. Okay, a little more level 49. We need to keep working on that because Shaylee's already there, so... Hey, Alan Almanza, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Want to ask, interested in custom graphics design, 2D, 3D models, banners, overlays, PFPs, thumbnails, intros, outros, etc. I'm not going to say I wouldn't be interested, but I definitely don't have the money to pay you what you're worth. So I appreciate the offer, but unfortunately I'm going to have to pass on them because like I said, I wouldn't be able to pay you. Not a reasonable wage for any of that stuff. So thank you for offering, but I wouldn't be able to pay those prices. So I don't even know what the prices are, but I wouldn't be able to pay them. Sorry about that. But I appreciate the offer nonetheless. So. Alright, let's see how much Flash Cannon does this Grimmsnarl. And I guess I'm tormented, so if it doesn't KO, we'll use something. I guess it KO'd. I don't even need Mega Launcher. You should have been using screens like every other Grimmsnarl in existence. Oh well. I mean, I guess. Inspiration comes from many places, I suppose. You're welcome? I don't think it was that impressive, but okay, fair enough. Guess art comes in many forms. So I shouldn't, like, judge. Alright. Maybe the kid's down here, actually, because I know he's in a grassy area. Is that him right there? Yes, it is. Okay, good. I was like, he's got to be here somewhere. I know he's in a grassy area right around here, but wasn't sure where. Found him. Oh, hay fever, huh? Yeah, I get that. The grass here is pretty long and not particularly high polygon. Still causes slowdown, though. Alright, well, I know what to do with Arcanine, and it's definitely not Yukiko. Captain! You're on deck! I was going to say that's going to do next to nothing thanks to the Assault Vest, and I don't even care about the burn, because the burn doesn't affect my special attacks. You know, it's interesting, they have a status effect that lowers the damage of physical attacks, but they don't have a status effect that's similar for special attacks, you know? I wonder if they ever considered adding something like that. Well, it's not in this game, so I don't know. Alright, kid, what else you got? Capraja, huh? I have an Aura Sphere for that. I'll be having that EXP, thank you. Actually, this might not even KO. This thing is tanky. Okay, never mind. Not that tanky. I underestimated Clawitzer's Mega Launcher. Not unusual for me to do, but, you know. And now Colossal! Man, Clawitzer's going in. The captain's got it for this battle. He's got it on lock. Steam engine this. Well, the kid had the same idea I did for this mountain, though, is having a, whatchamacallit, having a Colossal, but you don't need to bounce, Captain. You're right where you belong, on deck. Fighting the good fight. Making them walk the plank. Hi, Go-Goat. Yeah, I mean, I guess it is just a little bit, but I guess that's why you've got... You know, I should probably have my winter uniform on now that I think about it. Go-Go, did I do something wrong? You literally just projected me into this Greavard, which I think just phased into the wall. Okay. Anyway, let me... No, I didn't do anything wrong. He just ran too close to me. That's fine. Let's see... Alright, so let's go to Montenevera, but before we go there, let me get on my... that's notices, not clothes. Let me get on my winter uniform, because it's going to be cold up there. So... This, get the beanie on. We don't need the racing helmet anymore. Although, it probably wouldn't hurt to have it if we're going to be... not slaloming, but if we're going to be flying down the slopes. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have it. Hi, how are you? That's good to hear. I'm just gonna go grab this real quick from this little chunk of land, and then I'll grab this too. Why not? Just dodge the Scoville and the low kicks before they try to beat me to death. Yeah, 2 revives. That's not bad. All right, and then up to Montenevera. So there are 7 trainers that I want to fight from here on the way down Glaziato Mountain to North Province Area 3. And by the time we're done fighting them, we might be at the level of the 4th Team Starbase, which is level 51. But if we're not, it doesn't really matter too much because we're not using these specific Pokemon to do the fighting for us. So, you know. Now, here's my question. I don't remember if I did already. Did I buy the bottle caps for hyper training for these guys yet? I did the hyper training for my other Pokemon off screen, the reserve team. These 6, but I don't remember if I did the, if I bought the bottle caps for these ones. Let me see. Oh, there's some more Terra Shards. I think the bottle caps would be down here somewhere if I bought them. I would have seen them already. Yeah, so I didn't buy the bottle caps for these ones. So I guess it's something I'll get to use my money on, because the way that I'm going to do it is I am going to hyper train these Pokemon. It's totally overkill, but when am I ever going to get to mess with the IVs of Pokemon from now until I'm done playing Pokemon for the stream? Never. So I might as well take advantage of it while I can. And since I used the power items to raise their attacking stats, I'm going to use bottle caps to raise their HP and speed. So basically I'm going to cap out HP and speed, but I need them to be level 50 before I can do that. So we'll, you know, worry about that once we get them to level 50. Before that, might as well just keep getting some experience instead. And it starts with this gentleman here. Go. Yeah, I didn't hear the details of it, but he seemed a little bitter about it when I fought him in a gym battle. If I remember correctly, this guy's got a couple of Pokemon. I think I mostly just was like, which ones are on the path down the mountain? And I was just like, oh, these ones? Okay, well, that's what we'll go with. But, yeah, I don't know. Just sort of, just sort of trying to make it all work out, you know? And once we're done, hopefully I'll remember. I got to go to the Glaziato Gym Pokemon kiosk, because that one's got the TM that you get for finishing, like beating enough trainers on Glaziato Mountain. It's not a TM that I even care about, though. I haven't cared about that move since Gen 1 when it had higher accuracy. Hint, hint. But, you know, it'll be something worth considering later. I'm going to try sending out Yukiko for this. It might Hyper Drill, which would be not effective at all. But Yukiko also needs more experience than anybody else, so right now to get to the next level. That's going to change eventually because she's in the medium fast experience group. So once we get to around level 60, she's going to start taking off, where she's going to be getting her experience faster than the medium slow group Pokemon that I have. So she'll probably be either at their level or even a little higher by the time everything's said and done. So like Houseplant, Roxas, Shaylee, and Interceptor, they'll all be like maybe a level lower than her in the very end of the game, but it'll take till the end of the game to get there. And yeah, and then the captain, obviously, since he's in the slow experience group, he'll just be the most behind out of anybody. He'll probably be a level behind everyone for a good chunk of the remainder of the game, unless I keep switching him in like this. So. I wish I actually cared that you were using Roost. I don't think it's gonna matter. Nope. I have fighting type moves on a non-fighting type Pokemon, but a Pokemon that gets a major power boost out of it, so. Well, I don't know. How long ago was it? I'm 10 years old, but I'm not that young. Second best, huh? I wonder who the first best was. Hi, Sneasel. You just caused everyone around you, including your friends, to evaporate from reality. How do you feel? I'm getting the heck out of here. Oh, sorry, Snowrun. I was gonna say, I'm getting the heck out of here, but obviously that's more difficult than I thought because there's a million Pokemon spawning around here. Well, there's one place they can't spawn in midair. Of course, they can spawn right next to this item to where I can't see them. Hi, Cubchoo. And that's fine as well. But yeah, let's just get down the mountain at this point. What the heck is that thing? Oh, a Delibird. I was like, what is that floating around there? It's Delibird. It's flying. It doesn't look like it's flying. It looked like it was just floating. I'm like, is that some weirdly colored Bronzong or something? Like, what in the heck? Alright, so the next trainer that we need to fight is... I think the next one is the tough trainer. It's down here somewhere. I think this is her right here, actually. Oh, there's another Ice Stone. Yeah, this is her. Advertising in the chat, tisk tisk. It's not like I can pay for it anyway, so I don't mind them advertising. But welcome back, Chris. We are currently in the train your Pokemon to get ready for the Pokemon League phase, and since the Pokemon League's, well, level cap, it's not really a level cap, but since the Pokemon League's levels are like 58, that's around where I'd like to be for it, we might be in that phase for a little while. The game has only one more challenge for us, and it's down the other side of this mountain. And once we're done with the Team Starbase, it's literally just go fight trainers until you're ready for the Pokemon League. So, you know, I guess we'll go do that. I could go in at like level 55. That might be a little bit more interesting, but I don't know if I want to. So... Duden. I'm going to send in Houseplant. She's got Earth Power. It'll probably KO. She's got good special attack. Do you have 3 Pokemon? Because if you do, I might Hyper Voice instead, because then I can get the special attack boost. Oh, there's a Frigivax right next to me. Cool. Thanks for the leftovers, little guy. You do have a 3rd Pokemon. Hyper Voice a Go-Go. Scream at it really loud, Houseplant. There you go. Gotta use that throat spray sometime. I mostly just use Houseplant as a Giga Drain battery, but, you know, I bought the throat spray for a reason, so I may as well use it. And Veluza. Good. Good. Perfect. That's exactly the kind of thing I'd want to use that one. And I'm definitely going to get, like, I don't know, X Scissors or something. Psycho Cut, that's fine. You give those back! And that's like 5 dead Veluza. By annihilating you and every member of your family 4 generations above and below you. That's an Excelblum quote. I guess I'm here for a hike. It's a short hike and a downhill one, so, but I guess that still counts as a hike. But yeah, here's the Frigibacks that I was mentioning. It's not the one that I was referring to, because the one I was referring to is a wild Terra-type Frigibacks. But it's here with its friend Citadel. You two are cute. Don't stop being cute. I mean, I guess, like, you end up just eating more as a result, so. Alright, who's where here? Let's see, you need 795, so 480, 191. So Interceptor's definitely the most behind, and then Yukiko and the Captain need to get their experience up a little bit as well. So, alright, cool. We'll leave Interceptor out, and then we'll swap around so that Yukiko and the Captain get their experience. Oh, never melt ice. Okay. I guess that makes sense to find up here. 2-star Terrifier Q-Fant, interesting, but not really something I'm interested in. Alright, I think if I remember right, there's a couple of trainers up here. Here's a mass outbreak of wild Frigibacks, apparently, although it looks more like a mass outbreak of wild Snover. Oh, it's because it's up there. Okay, fair enough. On the side of the mountain. I think there's 2 trainers here, and then a couple of trainers on the other side of the mountain, and then the... oh, that's a Griever. And then the last tough trainer for the mountain, so... Don't know exactly where they are. Again, probably should have looked on the map a little more closely, but I said, it's okay, I'll find them. One of them's over there, and one of them's over here. Okay, good. They're not too far away from each other. Fair enough. 3-star Terra Poison Indeedee female. That's actually interesting, because we've seen Indeedee now, but they're only available in North Province Area 1, as far as I'm aware. So this Indeedee... Let's see, it's 3-star, so it'd be level 35. This is the lowest level Indeedee that you can actually catch out in the wild, if I'm remembering that correctly. Obviously, you can get a lower level Indeedee if you raise it from an egg, but... yeah. Well, the Pokemon Center's right there, although I don't necessarily recommend listening to Nurse Joy's directions. She'll just point you to the nearest objective, even if it's 50 levels above you. Oh, she's got a fancy breed of Tauros. So, Tauros in Paldea has the combat breed, which is just a fighting-type Tauros, but certain Tauros have different perspectives on them. As you can see, this one's a little bit aesthetically different, because this is the aqua breed of Paldean Tauros. It's water fighting instead of just fighting. This is the one that's available in Violet. If you're looking for the one that's... oh, never mind, it's a Zoroark. Well, that's funny, because I was still super effective. She has an aqua breed Tauros in the back, though, for Zoroark. It's disposition like that. Illusion. A water buffalo, yeah, something like that. If you're looking for the Scarlet exclusive one, there's a trainer on the other side of the mountain, closer to Dali Zappa Passage, the east entrance by Zappa Pico, and they have the Blaze breed, which is fire and fighting, which would make this play rough not particularly... I mean, it would be normally effective, but it wouldn't be as effective as it is on, well, the actual Tauros. So. I get the feeling Interceptor's going to catch up from this battle just a little bit. Tick-tock goes the sunlight. It's like a sundial in here. It's just click, 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 click. I wonder if that's smoother on the Switch, too. I also wonder if there's any texture popping on the Switch, too, because I don't know if a processing bump would fix the, like, problems with the texture popping. Like, this in this case, the shade is popping in and out. So... I did actually want to come out here because you and a couple other people have good amounts of experience to give me. Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's one way to do it, but you're 5 feet from a Pokemon Center, so I don't really see the point. But, I mean, you do you. Alright, I think if I remember right, I was looking at it, Roxas needs the most next, but actually Yukiko needs the most next because she's still level 49. Package for you, sir! Oh. Okay. Huh. I think the Mountaineer is getting to this guy's head. Well, he's got a Staraptor, so that would probably make for pretty good delivery. I don't even care about that Intimidate. As you can see, I am a special attacker that will just freeze you to knock out. It would be freeze you to death, but there's no death in this game. They won't allow it. Alright, well, Yukiko's level 50 now. Good. Yeah, I'm not giving you the 3 digits on the back of my credit card, thanks. Uh-huh. Trying not to judge you, sir. Having a very hard time not judging you. Alright, there are 2 more trainers, regular trainers, on the hike down the hill to North Province Area 3. And then the tough trainer, who is, I think, close to the bottom, but I think he's on the other side of the river. We'll see. It's kind of tough with Glaciato Mountain because the topography, it might show topography on our map here, but the map that I'm using doesn't really show. Actually, this doesn't really even show topography either. I guess it shows the ridges, which should indicate topography, and I guess it's like lighter up here than it is down here. But yeah, the map that I was using doesn't really have like topography on it, so that doesn't really help with figuring out what elevation the trainers are on. I have a more detailed list for South Province Area 6 because there's a cave in that area that we need to go to, and so like I'm like, okay, well, there's a couple of trainers that want to fight in the cave, there's a couple of trainers that want to fight on the cliffs around the cave, and there's a couple of trainers that want to fight up on the surface. Greaver, can you just yoink? Thanks. Stand still. I like the camera being pulled out as far as possible like this, but sometimes it makes it hard on Glaciato Mountain to distinguish a shiny item from, like a shiny item on the ground from Greavered, which I guess is, you know, probably intentional because they wanted to make it so that you had a hard time distinguishing the two. Right, I think this is actually the tough trainer, which is fine to me. I'll just fight him and then I'll fight the other 2 trainers on my way down. Let's see. 54, 58, 63, 60. Alright, Roxas, you're up. Get the captain in. Oh my god, that Citadel just went for a tumble. Okay, I guess. I don't know how helpful that data is going to be. It's only 1 sample after all. Oh, a Magnezone. Good. I wasn't planning on evolving mine, so it's good that we can see one. Before the game ends. Actually, we were going to see one anyway, because I think if I remember right, one of the Elite Four members has it. But this looks like a job for somebody else, because I don't think Roxas can even put it... Well, I guess Roxas has Fire Punch, and probably this thing has Sturdy, so Shaylee's going to, you know, not be able to knock it out in 1 hit. Good lord, that pixelation on the shadows. Sheesh. Unless this has Magnet Pull. It does have Magnet Pull. Perfect. Thanks for being a pal and not making me waste another PowerPoint. Big thing for the Switch 2 that you saw was it increased the render distance and the number of Pokemon on screen. Yeah, and I looked that up after the last time, actually, because from what I was told, I don't know, or actually it's not even what I was told, it was from like word of mouth that I heard. It changed up, the fact that there's more Pokemon on screen changed up the shiny methods of hunting shiny Pokemon. Apparently it's a lot easier to hunt shiny Pokemon on the Switch 2 just because there's more Pokemon on the screen. But I don't know if it's necessarily just, well, there's a higher quantity, so you'll see more of them. I think it has to do with, like, they put some sort of a code in the game where it's like, if this many Pokemon are on screen at once, one of them is guaranteed to be a shiny. Now, I don't know if that's true. That seems a little far-fetched, but that's what I heard. It's convenient censorship, yeah, something like that. As the camera continues to glitch further and further into the ground as the battle goes on here. But whatever. Maybe because I defeated you so fast that you didn't even think about it. Yes, your equipment is not capable of handling 1-turn knockouts. Let's see where everybody's at now. 33, 38, 34, and obviously you're ahead of the game. So Houseplant, I guess you're coming out for the next one. This is a shiny item. Thanks, Citadel, I'll take that. Grab this, jump over everybody's heads. Actually, I think the other 2 trainers are on that path that way. So we're going kind of on the short path down, which is fine. I'm just going to jump all the way down it. And then we'll go up the other path to fight the other 2 trainers. And once we fought them, we'll jump all the way back down here. And we'll just heal up at the Pokemon Center and then get ready, because there's the last Team Star base right over there. And maybe we'll finally learn the truth about this 1.5 year ago thing that they've sort of hinted at a couple of times. Oh, Wild Abomasnow. Nice. Wild Gardevoir as well. If I hadn't already used it on a playthrough, I'd be more interested in maybe capturing one, but not so much. Used it in Pokemon XD. I'm good. Are they both on this level, or is one on this level and one above them? I think this one, well, I can see one of them now. You cannot get my personal data, noob. Holy cow, that texture glitch. Oh my god. It's like I have to ask which one, because I just don't even know at this point. There's just so much that's happened in this game in terms of like the texture popping and glitching and just being gross. It's like, whatever. Giant green wall. I must have missed that one. I must have been looking at. Oh my god, Mabosstiff, what the hell was happening with your jaw? Talk about lockjaw. Holy cow. I caught that one. Giant green wall for like 2 frames. Yeah, I must not have seen it then. Oh, but I saw the Mabosstiff lockjaw. Apparently it's something with me and teeth. I mean, I guess that makes sense. If you look back at my Final Fantasy Legend 3 playthrough, you'll know that I spent about 25% of it talking about how many mouths everything had. So, there probably is something with me and teeth, to be fair. I'm gonna leave Houseplant in for a Vaporeon. I can handle a Vaporeon with the Giga Drain. You may have a lot of HP, but I have a 13 level advantage on you. And Weavile. Okay. Well, I wanted to get Yukiko in at some point, but I don't think that's happening this battle. Funny thing about Weavile, actually, is that this team has an Ice Ghost type and a Ground Dark type. If I swapped Shaylee out for a Palossand, I could actually use a Weavile on the team effectively. The team would have very similar weaknesses and resistances, to where it would have worked out pretty nicely. But yeah, I didn't end up using a Weavile. Probably wouldn't have been a bad choice. It's very speedy, and it's got good typing. Ice and Dark are both pretty good offensive typings. Not defensively necessarily, but it can learn Dark fighting coverage, and Ice is just a really strong offensive type overall, so... yeah, well. I can handle a Vaporeon, no offense. I don't need... You know, if I'm honest with you, I think I know what that's referring to, but I've never even, like... If you're referring to that, like, weird post about a person talking about a Vaporeon in, like, a weird sexual manner, that I've never read the full post because I'm afraid to read it. Like, the only thing I've read of it is when people quote, like, the first half of the first sentence, and that's as far as I've ever gotten in that post, because I'm like, I don't have the mental brain capacity for this. I would probably need to bleach my brain if I read this whole thing through, so... If that's what you're referring to. If that's not what you're referring to, please elaborate, because I have no idea what you're talking about. So. I'm just, like, I don't understand the thought process there, though. Like, that's an animal. You're literally, like... You're talking about bestiality. I understand that the internet is a weird place, but, like, you're literally talking about bestiality. Like, the animal is not real, but if it was an animal, like, if it was real, it would be an animal, like, in our world. You're talking about bestiality. Please stop. It just... Like, I think about stuff like that in terms of, like, will this person ever get a job interview for the rest of their life? Because you know their employer can see this crap. They'll just be like, oh, this is your social media profile, and it's linked to this post that you have millions of views on. Well, that's interesting. Are you pretty good at marketing? Oh, it's a post about you talking about sexuality and a Vaporeon. Maybe we don't need to hire you. It's from 4chan. That should say a lot. Okay, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, actually. For 2 reasons. 1, 4chan, I could see something like that, you know, picking up traction because it's 4chan. 2, nobody on 4chan uses their real name, so that person is probably safe in a job interview. So I guess it makes sense as to why that has not negatively affected their... I would imagine it hasn't negatively affected their job prospects anyway. So, come to think of it, I'm not even sure if, like, I've talked about it before, and it's like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, you don't get sick unless you're just out here, you know, getting... Well, I guess you're out here in bare feet, so maybe you should bundle up a little bit. Then you can train a little more. Yeah, like I say, I've talked about it before, and it's like, oh yeah, I'm being watched by the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics equivalent of an FBI agent from now until the day I die. I mean, I'm on the internet on a pseudonym, so I'm not even sure if they could find me necessarily, you know? So... maybe I don't have anything to worry about, but with that being said, I'm still going to be careful because you never know. They might ask me for what my social media profile looks like when I join the academy. I'm not even sure if they're allowed to do that. I feel like that's like a privacy disclosure thing, but I'm still going to be careful. Because I would rather not have spent a total of 5 years in school for it to mean nothing because I can't get any job interviews. Now, this guy right here is actually the reward guy for this province, North Province Area 3. He's not the one for Glaziata Mountain. So before we go and do that, let me go back here and just grab the TM that we get as a reward, because we should have fought enough trainers on the mountain to get it by now. I gotta imagine. We fought so many trainers in between these, like, Dalizava Passage in here. So let's see how many we fought. Yes, we have fought enough. You need to fight 10. We've fought 21. Fair enough. So, there's Blizzard. That's cool. It's probably useful if you're going to put together a hail team, because then in a blizzard, well, in a snowstorm, I guess in this game is a better way of describing it, Blizzard just doesn't check for accuracy, but I'm not planning on putting together a team with Snowscape, so... I have a Sandstorm team, kind of, right here, but... yeah, not the other one, so... Alright, so let's get our specialists out for the final team starbase, and then we'll head inside. Actually, I want Graph-High-Eye to be in front, because he's going to clear the front gate for us. Yeah, actually, we'll put Venomoth here. Speaking of stalkers... Where's Nimona? I know she's here somewhere! I was going to say, you'll let me redo the Snow Slope run, right? Because if I remember correctly, all of the gym mini-games you can redo. Even the ESP one, which seems silly, but, you know. But either way. Let's take care of this Team Starbase, and then we are all set and ready to go. And I probably could stay here and just fight all the trainers here, but I'm going to wait to do that until we go and finish South Province Area 6, because... it's more in-depth, South Province Area 6, because I'm not fighting all the trainers there. I don't know if it's laziness or if it's just because there's just so few trainers up here in the North Provinces, but for the last 4 areas, which are North Province Areas 1, 2, and 3, and then Casa Royal Lake, I literally just said, let's just fight every single trainer on in these areas, because there's like 5 trainers and 1 tough trainer here. Same thing for North Province Area 2. There's 6 trainers and 7 trainers, excuse me, and there's actually 3 tough trainers in North Province Area 1. It's a little bit of a unique situation, but yeah, and then Casa Royal Lake has like 16 trainers, but they're just all over the lake, so I just said, whatever, let's just fight them all, I don't care. So. Hey Pad, welcome back, your Wi-Fi is back, yeah! Nice, congrats on getting the Wi-Fi back, hope it sticks around. We just fought a bunch of trainers to get our Pokemon to about level 50-ish. And now, before we continue with them, we're just going to take care of the final team Starbase, because it's the last objective that we have on our list of things to do. And then once we're done with this, we can go continue preparing for the Elite Four. Yes, I am. Yes, they are. Hey, no problem. I'm just, you know... glad to be helpful, I suppose. Oh, hey, Clive. Excuse me for a moment. This mountain is cold enough. I'm actually going to go turn off my air conditioner and see if I can get away with it in here. Hang on. It was cooler today than usual. It was like in the 70s Fahrenheit rather than, you know, 80s and close to 90 like it's been, so. But this also means I may actually be able to hear the last of the Team Star Grunt battle themes and the last of the Team Star boss themes before they fade away into, you know, nothingness for the rest of the game. Actually, that's not true. I think you can hear the Team Star boss theme again in the post-game because you can re-challenge the bases, but not the Grunt themes. You can't hear the Grunt themes, as far as I'm aware, in the post-game unless you do Wi-Fi stuff, so, you know, like online battling. Well, we're all together as a team now, so it doesn't really matter too much. It's got cool glasses. Definitely got interesting polarity on them, that's for sure. I don't know how I'd feel about like, I've always just worn, for sunglasses, I've always just worn polarized, well, not polarized, the ones I have are polarized, but I've always just worn black sunglasses, you know what I mean? Not any other colors. I don't know. I don't know if I could rock any other color besides that, you know? Epic. Did someone say team? We will hopefully do you proud there, Cassiopeia. Yep, they have. Well, glad I could help with, okay, whatever that's all about. What do you mean, master? I was gonna say, why are you getting all formal on me at the end here, Clive? That's not like you. Wink. No, prepare for trouble and make it double. To protect the world from devastation, to unite all peoples within our nation. I should probably be saying one half of this and letting you say the other half, huh? To denounce the evils of truth and love, to extend our reach to the stars above. Jesse James. Team Rocket, blast off at the speed of light. Surrender now or prepare to fight. Meowth, that's right. Anyway. Well, this isn't what I expected to see at the entrance to this base. I mean, I expected the low poly triangles, but not some old dude. Well, that depends on who the young master is exactly. The actual icons of the Pokemon anime. Well, I knew that part, but I didn't know that his name was Ortega. Oh, whoops. Wah, wah. That would make sense, yeah, I suppose. I mean, your logic seems sound, at least. Okay. Alright, now that I can answer decisively, sure. Alright, so I don't know who this Harrington guy is, but apparently he wants a fight before we go into the base. Fair enough. You know, like, probably 20% of these Team Star Grunt trainers have just not even been Team Star Grunts, now that I think about it. It's just like, there's just this random kid at one of them, and then this old dude. It's like, okay, huh. Wonder what that's all about. Well, anyway, Graphite is going to open the path to the base because this here is a Morgrim. As usual, the trend of these Team Star Grunts is don't have your Pokemon fully evolved, and apparently this guy got the memo for that. Just Poison Jab at Graphite. Oh, I'm not even worried about Torment. Harrington, so Galarian it hurts. That may not be very far off the mark, actually. Now that I think about how this is all going to play out. Now he's got a Hatterene. Don't get fooled, this one is not a Fairy type just yet, it's just a Psychic type. Doesn't turn Psychic Fairy until it evolves into Hatterene. I've made that mistake before. Now, one thing I can say is they buffed the move Fling in this game, because as you may remember, with the Throat Spray, you use it up in battle, but then you get it back. It's the same for any hold item that you use for the move Fling. You'll fling the item, it'll get used up, you can't use it again in that battle, but it doesn't use up the item permanently. You'll get the item back when the battle's over. So I've got Graphite holding a Rare Bone right now, because the Rare Bone will basically be a 100 base power Dark type move when he throws it. So I'm just kind of waiting for the music to swell a little bit before I throw the bone at this Hatterene and then finish the fight. Let's just give it a second. In slow but certain 7 FPS. God, this flower field is so bad for the frame rate in this game. It's ridiculous. Hi. Alright, let's get this over with now. Here you go, have a bone. I'm literally throwing you a bone. To be fair, you caught it with your face. Fling and Iron Ball was a favorite of yours in Gen 4. Yeah, Fling and Iron Ball is fun too. I don't know where you get an Iron Ball in this one, though. You might not be able to get it until post-game. So I said, okay, well, let's just use what I have. And I said, what do I have in here? Well, I have 2 hard stones and a rare bone. One of them is funnier than the other, so let's just use the rare bone. Well, that's fine. That's why I've got these 3 Pokemon. They should be able to handle them, even without boosting like I've done in most of the other bases. All right, bye. Oh. Well, why'd he step down? Did he decide to retire, or? Huh. I don't know. You just decided to come out of your mouth, but it's interesting information. All right, bye. What is the former director of the academy doing in this backwater place? Guess he's still got a relationship with this kid, but this kid's in Team Star, so what's that all about? We need to investigate further. Good thing I'm going into the base. Maybe we'll learn some more. Lopunny, don't even start, had like an iron flail, basically. Yeah, because Lopunny had the Klutz ability, so the Iron Ball didn't do anything, because Klutz means your items are meaningless, basically. So you could hold an Iron Ball, it won't affect your speed, and you could just yeet it at the opponent for massive damage. So that's good. We'll see about that. See, and this is why I wanted to save this one for last, because he's very much the boss kind of boss. Like, Aerie was a little more, like, up in front, trying to lead from the front, whereas Ortega's a lead from the back. He's like, no, I've got all these grunts, they'll do the dirty work for me. So, he's kind of just a little shit, and it's fun to mess with him. So, that's what we'll try to do, is just mess with his grunts until he decides to show up, and then mess with him. Yep, that's exactly how that worked. Good. I remember my mechanics a little bit. All right, so now what I want to do is I actually want to switch Graph-II's item, because I'm not going to use Fling in the next fight, but I am going to need a Persimberry, because another thing that's a little unfortunate about Ortega is that his specialty is inflicting the Confuse status on your Pokemon. His car's Torque move inflicts confusion, and he has Confuse Ray on the car as well. So that's why we've got 2 Persimberries going on. Venomoth just needs a Poison Barb. That's all Venomoth will need, so. But we will see how this goes. Let's do the final Team Start base and finish out these objectives. Then it'll just be the, like, final objective of each quest. The Elite Four, battling Arven, and the final Team Starbase battles. Can you just say that the mission text box has more personality than most of the bases? I mean, you're not wrong, honestly. Just a little bit. Oh, we'll see about that. It might not be an option, but it might be forced on you. We'll call the boss out to deal with you, because at that point, it's above our pay grade. Some other grunt in the back. We're getting paid for this? Okay, so here we go. And immediately we're not going to go left, because even though we have Poison and Steel types, our matchup against Fairy and Steel typing is not particularly good with this team. So we're not going to fight any of the Tinkatinks and Tinkatuffs and Tinkatons that come out. We're just going to fight everything else instead. I'm just going to run right past them. Let them be. Heed the words of wisdom. At 6, not even 6. We're currently moving at 4 frames per second here. I'm making a general estimation, but good God, that was slow. Ay, ay, ay. Like, oh my God, man! Like, just don't have a heart attack on me, game. I wonder if Magneton can handle these. I'm going to try it. Let's just see what happens. Okay, well, they have a disadvantage, so I guess that's a good thing. It means Magneton should be able to handle it without too much trouble. Oh, good, a Gardevoir. I don't know how Venomoth's going to do against this one, but we'll try it. Oh, good, and Magneton's back out for these ones, so since it worked out last time, no HP missing anyway. Let's do that. And that's it. Magneton, you're good. You don't have to keep going. What are they paid in? Chocolate bar rations? Oh, something like that. Definitely not paid in polka dollars. I mean, I guess some of them have had good money, but, like, not that good. And, I mean, this is probably where all the money went anyway. Look at this thing. Like, you're not exactly going to build that out of scrap metal, you know? See what I mean? Isn't he just a little shit? Like, just look at the smile on his face. Like, if that doesn't give you just, I'm a little shit and I know it vibes, I don't know what will. Why would I want to be beefed up? Fighting types are weak to fairy types. No, they're also about status effects, apparently, according to you. Good thing I prepared for that. There's no yellow flute in this game, so I can't just, like, cure the status repeatedly if he gives it to me. Alright, here we go. So Azumarill to start. Apparently his team starts with Depression. That's fair, I suppose. Who's going to go blubbering back home here? I can guarantee you it's not going to be me. We need the Poison Barb for Venomoth because if I remember correctly, this Sludge Bomb is not like a guaranteed KO if I don't have the Poison Barb. But if I do, we can kill Ortega's Depression immediately. You're welcome. I want to bully him for his lunch money. So did many people at the school, apparently. That's why he's out here. But, yeah, so that's the main thing, is just getting rid of the Azumarill in one hit. I don't think Giga Drain would have done it either, because Sludge Bomb is the same type of attack bonus and super effective, so Giga Drain wouldn't quite have been enough. But yeah, Venomoth can kind of wipe the floor with his first 3 Pokemon. I think we're naturally slower than his Darkspun, but that's okay, because we'll take a little hit, and then we'll just Sludge Bomb a Go-Go. Yeah, that's not Mud Slap, so that's fine. I think it knows Mud Slap, which is really annoying, but... Excuse me? I'm one-hit KOing you left and right. What do you mean outmatched? Alright, well, that takes care of that. So now, it's just the car. And like I said, I'm not going to do any boosting. I'm just going to fight it straight up. So, here's something I don't understand. Here's the car. The car has the Misty Surge ability, which sets Misty Terrain on the battlefield. It boosts the power of his Torque move, because it's Fairy type. But more importantly than that, it prevents status ailments, which is a little counterintuitive, because his whole main thing is using status ailments. And then he immediately gets rid of the terrain by using Steel Roller. What? Alright, then why the Misty Terrain, then? Like, what was the point of that? Excuse me? I think he sees a KO on Venomoth now, so I'm going to swap in Magneton. We'll get a Reflect up, and then we'll get Graphite in here to finish it up. Sweating! I am sweating in this heat out here. I mean, the mountain's right there, so... Yeah, he sees a KO. So now he'll use Spin Out, which actually reduces his speed by 2 stages, which means this car should, theoretically now, be slower than Graphite if Graphite gets an Unburden boost from using its Person Berry. You know, I might even just do that, honestly. I might swap into Graphite because he's going to use Confuse Ray right here. So I might just pivot straight into Graphite to get the Person Berry off immediately and then just Poison Jab with Terra to just annihilate this thing. Let's see if it works. If it doesn't, I have Magneton in the back with its Person Berry still, so it should be okay. I'll tell you what else is sweating. My console. The frame rate, oh my lord. But yeah, so that'll confuse Graphite, the Person Berry will cure it. Unburden will activate, doubling my speed, and I should be, especially after the spin out, well and away faster than this thing. So, with all of that preparation out of the way, Graphi, it's your time to shine. Bring us home, because I don't want to be here anymore. The frame rate is just annihilating itself en masse, and I have no interest in sticking around. Good lord, man, look at this. Yeah, well, we're faster. That's a good thing. Does this KO? Not quite. That's sad, because Venomoth did like 55% to this thing without Terra boosting. And now I'm confused anyway. So, since that's the case, Magneton, bring us home. This game is just so unoptimized. Like, oh my god, I just can't even... And like... I don't even, like, people have said, oh wow, the Switch 2 makes it into a new game. No, okay, the only thing the Switch 2 does is it has more processing power to handle the spaghetti code that's on the inside of this game. Like, please, Game Freak, learn to program your video games. Please. Like, it's like you haven't figured out any code optimization since you made Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow. Do something about that, please. Because, good God, this is not acceptable. Good job, everybody. It falls faster. I just want, like... I just want the game... I didn't even need it to be at 60 FPS. I just want it to be at a consistent frame rate, you know? Like, come on now. Wah, wah. You built that whole car in one night? This is the weird thing, though, right? Like... Or if Ortega is the team's mechanic and he built the car in one night, I understand he's the fairy type user, but why not like dress him in a mechanic outfit that just happens to be pink? Like, at least then it matches the vibes. I can't imagine him being in that outfit, like tooling a car so that it's like fine-tuned and ready to go, because he'd get that outfit dirty. And I get the impression from just the kind of person that he is that him getting an outfit dirty would cause him to not want to wear that outfit anymore, ever again. So, I just don't see it. Like, there'd be 3,000 stains on that uniform. Yeah, exactly, from all the oil and everything else. So, like, I don't know, make him dress in a mechanic outfit that's just pink. Like, I don't think that's too much to ask. You made this gigantic car that doesn't work by your own hand, so that must be worth something. Oh my god. You're not making the case any easier for yourself, Ortega. Well, it's about time someone put him in his place. Yeah, no, I'm the fire type user. I'm literally just going to spit fire right now. That's my whole point. See, I misread this the first time I played this. I thought she said, we swore to quit relying on our parents' bags of cash. Like parents apostrophe, as in possessive. Like they're all rich and they're just cosplaying because they can since they're rich. But it's parents or bags of cash. So that doesn't mean that they're all rich. It just means Ortega's parents just so happen to be. Is he gay or European? Oh my god. He's not old enough to even know, like, what either of those mean, I don't think. He's like 9 or 10 years old, so I don't know if he can, like, you don't really realize that sort, like, your sexual orientation until you can create abstract thoughts regularly, and when you're 9 or 10 years old, you're still trying to figure out how to do that, so you could be gay, but you don't have the abstract thought to realize that yet, I guess is what I'm saying. It's not that you become gay, it's that you don't have the abstract thought to really understand what that means until you're older. So. Well, that explains why she was trying to get those Charcadet evolved, but then she didn't exactly go see Charlos despite that. Oh, so she can run in those boots? That's surprising. I figured she wouldn't be able to, considering she has to, you know, friggin' marching band her way through everything else when she's walking. They let him say sucks in a Pokemon game? Man, what's next? Are they gonna let them say crap and freakin' in Gen 10? Holy, what would I even do then? Yeah, don't do that to yourself. The team is important to you, so I will attempt to, even if I don't necessarily respect you. And there's our last badge from the ferry crew. Mom, what's Europe? I'll tell you when you're older. There you go. And for defeating Ortega, we get TM, the TM for Dazzling Gleam as well. So if we needed that still, I would want to have it. But as it turns out, Ampharos learns Dazzling Gleam by level up now in this generation, so I didn't actually need this TM. So, well, I'm glad I could annoy you a little bit. Oh, it's that old dude. Yeah, he's going to have you play a Requiem, considering the fact that you just lost the only thing that you could hold that was important. This is Clive, excuse me. A distant acquaintance, huh? Oh, he's one of my friends, actually. I wonder which apparel company in the game Ortega's parents are, like, the owners of. Probably that expensive place in Levincia, if I had to guess for any of them. I mean, his shoes are, like, gold-plated, so... I think it's a legitimate question. Actually, it's used to, like, use USED, but, you know. Is it gay or European? He has whatever James has. Fair enough, yeah. What do you mean? You know, we had this question last time as well. What did happen to those bullies? Oh, yeah, I suppose that's fair, if you were the director when that happened. Oh, okay, so now we're putting the pieces together. Here's that 18 months ago again. Uh-huh. How so? Oh, yeah, I could see how that would cause a bit of a scandal if you lose 40% of your... Actually, that's probably an exaggeration. 20% of your student base because of a bullying incident. That would not look good in the international records. But apparently there are no records of that. Why did they do that? Yeah. Well, that's very big of them. Probably too big, actually. Huh. Well, it turns out someone stood up for you, Ortega, along with the rest of the team members. Overseas study, huh? I feel like we heard that one somewhere before, although we haven't heard it in a while. Well, let's put a pin in it for later. Clive's like, that sounds familiar to me, too. Oh, okay, well, the student, at least, is from the Galar region. Is it really overseas study if they're returning to their home region? Isn't that just study? Like, weren't they overseas when they came here? Too many questions. Kissing guys, maybe. Elaborate outfits and hey, girl. Yeah. Oh, boy. Oh. So it wasn't an order. It was a... Yeah, it was an... I can't have this black spot on my record or I'll never find a job again kind of a thing. Well, that's not good. I would hope so. So I was going to say, that's why there was such a change of the guard 18 months ago. So what that guy was saying on the other side of Glaziato Mountain was true. There was a big shift that happened at the school 18 months ago. All of the teachers and Director Clavel himself were all brought in 18 months ago because of this scandal. It's nice that they, at the very least, complete a storyline with, like, actual story details in this game somewhere. I will give it credit where credit's due. At least this is a complete thought. So. Well, this is the end of the storyline, Ortega. If I don't tell them now, they'll never know. Or that, too. Actually, about that, you're the last base, so that means that all of you should be able to go back to school now, especially since the school doesn't have a problem with bullying anymore. Once the bullies dropped out, why did these people keep not going to school? Like, once the bullies were dealt with, didn't they have no reason to not... I mean, I know they had the big boss that they were waiting for, but, like, the bullies were gone, so why not just go back to school at that point? Like, I feel like at that point it's a non-starter to say, well, we're waiting for the big boss. It's like, well, the big boss can't tell you because they, you know, were busy, but... It says a lot about this game that you barely noticed the stream was set up until 240p until now. Yikes! I'm not even. Oh, okay. So that might explain why the some of the textures were a little low. But if that's an expectation this game created for you, then yeah, that's a problem. I did. I got the last badge. Yep. Well, maybe. I guess we'll have to see. See if they show up at school. Thanks, Clive. We all work together on this one. Cool, thanks. I wonder where Cassiopeia is getting all this LP from. They seem to have quite a stockpile of it anyway. And I think now that we've gotten all of the gym badges and all of the Team Star bases defeated, we should be able to make, I think, every TM in the game except for the one, except for Nasty Plot at the TM machine. I'm gonna look actually and see if we can make Nasty Plot, because if you can, then well, there's no point in getting the one from Miss Ryfor, is there? Oh, is Penny not making her way here this time? I guess it was a long hike. Although she made it to North Province, so I guess, you know, there's that. Okay, so do we know where the big boss is, or is you, right? That part's not even remotely a shock. Stop looking so surprised, Clive. This was obvious. Where else was Cassiopeia going to be getting all of the LP from, unless they were the boss of a major team that fought a huge battle? We had plenty of time for you to tell me, Cassiopeia, but I guess, you know, save the best for last. Well, you and Mr. Harrington share that sentiment, so... Yeah, but are they going to go back to classes after this? I haven't exactly seen them around the school. Okay, so if we go to the schoolyard after dark, we can actually confront the boss, Cassiopeia. So... And unfortunately, to get to the schoolyard, we have to go in through the front door. And the front door is blocked off by none other than, well, Clive, basically. So basically, if you want to go into the school after you're done with the last Team Starbase, you have to go through Clive, and he won't let you go to the desk and take classes. He just wants you to go finish the quest. So, yeah, don't finish this before you're done with all your business in the school, basically. Now, with that being said, I also won't see my dorm room from now until I'm done beating the Pokemon League, because I won't be able to go into the school, but that's not a huge loss. So the dorm room has literally not had anything new put in it since stream number 2, so... Yeah, I guess that kind of puts the pieces together, doesn't it? I'll try to do that, because actually the levels of the true boss of the big boss of Team Star are closer to the Elite Four's champions levels, rather than, you know, something we could handle right now. I mean, we could probably handle it right now with a lot of healing, but yeah, let's just get a little closer to their level, you know. Sucking it out of Pidgeys or something, Pokemon Ghost style. Yeah, just slurp out all of that LP. No idea who she is. It's a mystery to everyone. I'll take this person berry back, thank you. You can keep the poison barb though, Venomoth. I won't need it ever again. Alright, back to the normal team. Because they still need 8 levels-ish before they're ready. But yeah, that's all of the objectives completed. If we look at the map after this, we will have all of the major quests complete. So all that's left is just wandering the wilderness looking for trainers to fight. It's a little bit of a, excuse me, it's a little bit of a, I don't know if it's a downer, honestly, though, because, like, I mean, I guess it means that the region is now empty and devoid of quests to do, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The point of the matter here is we're going to go to South Province Area 6. Actually, we're not. We're going to go to West Province Area 1's rest stop right here. And then we're going to go into the cave that leads up into... Did I say West Province Area 6? I meant South Province Area 6. Because there's a cave, Alfornata Cavern, that leads up to, well, Alfornata. And there's 4 trainers in there that I want to fight, and thankfully we have the rock climbing ability, so I should be able to climb around the cave pretty easily without too much trouble. Alright, there we go, back to our usual outfit that we'll be getting rid of shortly when we go back to the North Provinces. But I can wear this, it's not one last time, I'll be wearing this when we challenge the Pokemon League, but, you know, and for most of the post-game, because most of the post-game does not take place in the North Provinces, but, eh. I'm not stuck in here with you, you're stuck in here with me! Sponsor my demons, feed me the EXP! I mean, you're not wrong, that's basically what's happening here, so... I gotta raise my SMT demons to be ready to challenge God or Lucifer or whoever the final boss is in this one. But yeah, we gotta go down this way. The cave is actually directly over here. Banfi, if you want, you can follow me down the path. I don't care. Haven't been up in the hills here for quite a while, actually. But yeah, there's our target up there. We just gotta get there! And thankfully it's not a particularly long jaunt, I don't think, because, I mean, I'm literally only looking for 4 different trainers here. Oh, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, I've actually got notes for this on my phone that I can get, because I made the smart decision to transfer. I mostly make my notes in text files and Notepad, but I transferred the text file onto my phone on Google Drive, so I actually have the names of all of the people that we're looking for. So in the cave, we're looking for a youngster, a dragon tamer, a student, and a hiker. The hiker is one of the tough trainers. And then outside of that area on the cliffs, let me show that here. So in the cave down here, those are the 4 we're looking for. Out here on the cliffs, there's a black belt and another student, and then up here, there's a hiker and another student, and then a worker over here by the ruins, and that's the other tough trainer. So it is a map, yes. We have a map. Oh, good. More texture popping. I love that. I love this game's draw distance. It's so bad. Make it worse by flying at a faster than normal speed. Alright. That's enough of that. Well, thankfully, they should not be too strong for me to handle at this point, because I am better than the gym leader at the top of this cave, so... 1-star Terra Normal Pichu. That's kind of sad to see at this point in the game, honestly. Yeah, this is what he means. So, you go into this cave, Alfornata Cavern, instantly level 38 Toxtricities. Just wild and running around. And that's fine. I mean, nothing we can't handle at this point, but... Obviously, it'd be a little tricky for you to handle it if you came here as soon as you were first able to go to West Province Area 1. Just a smidge. Alright, so up that way is where we need to go, but let's see if we... I think the youngster is the first trainer that we can find in this area. Could be wrong about that, though. Oh, I thought that was the Houndoom from, It's not Wellspring Grotto. Inlet Grotto? I forget the name of that place from the very beginning of the game. Because you never really have a need to go back there. There are some items that we can grab in there, but I never really made my way back. Oh well. Kid's got to be around here somewhere. Like I said, youngster, dragon tamer, student, and hiker is what we're looking for. So we'll see if we can find any of them at all. Giga Impact, that's not really what I'm looking for, but I'll take it. This is a... So it's a wild Umbreon, probably with a Terra type of Dark then, since... well, really any wild Umbreon will have a Terra type of Dark, but that one's guaranteed to spawn, so... Oh, Bold Mint. Nice. It's not a bad find, actually. Just wish I could find the trainers that I'm looking for. Nice wild Shelgon. I think if I remember correctly, you need to beat Well, you're not the one I'm looking for. That's a courier, not a youngster or a dragon tamer or a whatever the other two I said were. Student or a hiker. Oh good, more Pokemon tweaking down there. Here's a student. This is one of the ones I'm looking for, so. I think, anyway. Guess we'll find out, won't we? If it's not the one I'm looking for, well, this is the student that we're fighting, so. I think you need to beat either 6 or 7 trainers to get the reward at the top here. So. Thank goodness for your legendary motorcycle, huh? I will never get over how early you get a legendary in this game. Yeah, I mean, it's necessary in order to get to all these places because this cave would be virtually impossible without rock climb otherwise, but, like, I don't know, there's just... It's just bizarre that they just give it to you so early, you know? Who fuels the torches? Why fire and not light bulbs? Should I even ask? No. Save yourself the brain space. Don't even ask those questions. Hey, Sachin, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Funny looking at a Houndoom edit, then you running into a Houndoom. Oh, okay, well, serendipity then, I guess. Yeah, welcome. We're in Alpharnauta Cavern. We currently have no objectives left on the world map. The next thing we have left to do is either challenge Arvin, challenge the Pokemon League, or finish the Team Star quest line. So I'm just training up and getting ready for the Pokemon League at the moment while we fight trainers that I did not fight in the rest of the game. Because we just had all the levels we needed before we even got to Alpharnauta Cavern, so to fight everything else. You know what? I'm going to see if Yukiko can handle this. I got faith in her. I think she'll be fine. I know it's a Gardevoir, so it can honestly probably tank a Shadow Ball, but it'll be alright. Yeah, that should be. Okay, and it cannot tank a Shadow Ball. Good. I'll take it. Good chunk of people at level 51 now. That's awesome as well. We'll just get Yukiko in the front so she can get there. Well, after you've done super effective hits on Pokemon for X number of years, then, you know, it becomes kind of second nature. Well, Dark is strong against Psychic because the Psychic types are thinking too hard, and when you think too hard, things in the dark become your mind plays tricks on you more in the dark when you think more. So that's why Dark is good against Psychic. Oh, that's not a surface that I can get up to. I think it was already up here actually, so I don't think I need to be up here to try to find. Yeah, because there's the Wild Umbreon. All right, Youngster, Dragon Tamer, Hiker. The Hiker is closer to the top of the area, if I remember correctly. So that looks like a Dragon Tamer. Okay, well that's 2. Yes, ma'am, if you had any peripheral vision, you would have seen that I was still riding on the Pokemon. Well, how did you get up here, then? What do you mean I didn't know there was a Pokemon who could climb these steep steps? Like, how are you here? Not the pun. We'll get to it eventually. Not the pun. Yeah, fear of the dark, exactly. So, oh, well, this is good. Yukiko, you need a little experience, but here, use the Ice Beam. That'll take care of business. Cute Salandit squad there. Just 7 of them. They all want to squat up. I don't know if that's going to work out for you, Salandit. I have Psychic on this Yukiko, on this Frostlass, so... that's going to hurt a little bit. Bro, I sleep in the dark, like pure darkness. Yeah, and I mean, I like it. I like my room to be dark as well, but like, I think it's different for people because when your brain is... Wow, is that an illegal Haxorus? It is, okay. When your brain is getting ready for sleep, hopefully you start to slow the thoughts down because your biology is saying, okay, let's slow down. We're getting ready to take a nap here. Let's not let all those intrusive thoughts in because we need to get to sleep instead. So hopefully that's what happens for most people. It's what happens for me biologically. It's like, oh, okay, I'm getting ready to go to bed, so I will slow down my thinking. But Psychic types probably can't slow down their thinking quite as much because they're just so dang smart that they can't turn it off, you know? So, all right, now if I were a youngster in a cave like this, where would I be hiding? I've been on this platform already. Excuse me, there was a scientist over this way. Over that way, the scientist was. Maybe the youngster's this way? Well, we're gonna find out in a second, aren't we? If I can't find him, then I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out. I'll just go back and see if I can find that courier. Nope, here he is. Okay, cool. Because after this kid, we can just go climb up near the top, because the top, like right where the exit is to go to Alfornata, is where the hiker is, because she's one of the tough trainers. I know where the tough trainers are. I don't really have a good frame of reference for where the regular trainers are. So. Common phobias like the dark and bugs are effective. Yeah, and that's fair, honestly, because, you know, they also have phobias. They think too hard, and as a result of thinking too hard, they think too much about the things that these bugs could do to them, or things that are in the dark could do to them. They just think too hard about it. Your most common phobia is fear of spiders. I mean, I think that's a fair one. I think a lot of people would agree with you on the fear of spiders one. I don't know, I don't really mind them too much. They eat all the other annoying bugs, so they don't really stress me out all that much, but I can see how people would, you know, not enjoy them. What would do more, Water Pulse or Aura Sphere? I think Water Pulse because of stab. I have Fire Punch for this Fortress, but it's a Fortress, so I was going to say I'm not even probably going to KO with a Fire Punch. Then again, it has Sturdy, so I'm not going to KO with anything. You beat the dragon what with a head ramp can? Oof you. I don't know exactly what you just said, but it sounds logical. 4 brains, man, imagine. Imagine an Ariados. Oh no! Just instantly regretting imagining the Ariados. I like Ariados. I wish it wasn't so slow. It's a cool design for a Pokemon. You'll call a flying taxi in here. I mean, I guess they could probably get the cabin here. This cave is huge, but I'm kind of shocked that they would actually do that. All right, who needs more out of the 4 of you? 49, 48, 54, 44. I need to catch everybody up to Shaylee, but Roxas needs the most, so. Cool. Let's get Roxas out and then jump towards the top of the cave, Wild Medicham. Yeah, so 1 more trainer left in the cave, 2 trainers outside. I don't even care about the items at this point. I guess I'll grab the TM, though. It might be something I don't have. Hey, look at that. Overheat. Something I don't have. Not that I care. I'm not going to teach anything overheat, but, you know. Honestly, yeah, though, I don't know if I care about the items in here. But here's the hiker right here. You know what? Since I'm already right here, I'll grab this item. Why not? It's just another rare bone. I should have known. Okay. After I beat you in a Pokemon battle, fair enough, I guess. I think Dot from Pokemon Mega Voltage would catch an Absol because you swear you saw something. I really want someone to use a Mega Houndoom in the series because you feel like it's less popular than Absol. I'll be honest, I don't even know who Dot is, so I couldn't tell you one way or the other. Sorry, I don't watch... if it's the anime, I haven't watched the anime since I was, like... I definitely watched pretty much all of the first season. I think I watched up to the first season of Johto, and after that, the only things that I remember from the anime are, like, clips that I watched on YouTube occasionally. That is a tiny Hippowdon. Like, I have a Hippowdon, and it is humongous. Or maybe it's just the camera angle. But that looks like a tiny Hippowdon. Well, anyway. The grassy terrain should, yeah, completely negate the sandstorm damage, so. And then we can just slurp all that HP back up. Ariados and Beedrill are 2 designs that get you close to that uncomfortable feeling. It's like 80% the legs, you're sure. Now, I mean, honestly, like, I think that I'd get more upset with some of the bug designs if the legs on the bugs had hairs on them, but thankfully, up to this point in the series hasn't had high enough fidelity to, like, program hair onto their Pokemon. Like, they can program a texture that probably looks a little like hair, but it's not actual hair, you know? Like, hairs on bugs' legs are the... Like, if there's anything about a bug that gets me uncomfortable, it's the hairs on their legs. I don't know why that specifically makes me uncomfortable, but it's just, like... It's like too many appendages, almost, even though it's just hair. It just... I don't know why that's the thing that does it for me. You know. Absol's really neat, but Houndoom is cool too, yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to see a Houndoom in the anime, because I don't remember seeing one, but then again, like I said, I don't really watch the first season, so. Watch the whole Pokemon anime growing up. Yeah, and that's fair, honestly. If you grew up with it, it's definitely like, I could definitely see it being something that you're still interested in, you know. Well, you're right, it's literally sand flying all over the place, so yes, it is weather, too. There's also that, yeah. And actually, they changed up how... Well, hail doesn't exist in Gen 9 anymore. It used to be the ice-type weather condition, and ice types would not be damaged. It would have been kind of similar to sandstorm, but ice types wouldn't take damage instead of, you know, rock, ground, and steel in a sandstorm. But they changed it up now because it's a snowstorm now instead of hail. So now, instead of there being a damage effect at the end of each turn, the snow just boosts the physical defense of all ice types, along with boosting the power of their moves. So I feel like there might be something else it does, but I can't remember off the top of my head. Either way, it also lets you put up Aurora Veil, which is a pretty strong, basically reflect and light screen at the same time. So yeah, I mean, it's useful. I still don't know how useful it is exactly. I still hear people say that, you know, snowstorm is still one of the weaker weather conditions, but... Oh wow, it's all the way down there? Okay, well, I guess we're gonna hover down there, aren't we? But there's two trainers down here on the cliffs. Because if you go up these cliffs, I think there's a shortcut into the cave that you can get to here, which I guess we can check since we're already right at the entrance anyway. Oh. Let's see where this feeds out into, you know? Into a place that I don't recognize wherever it is. 2 max elixirs? Holy crap. And one more right there. Ooh. Excuse me, Dugtrio. Let me grab this rock tomb real quick. That's another hiker that I just passed though, right? No, it's a student. Never mind. I was gonna say I didn't have this hiker on my map. Well, I thought I said I wasn't gonna grab the items, and here I am back to grabbing all the items. I told you before, it's like pieces of candy that they just leave out. Yeah, I don't exactly know where this cave feeds out. Oh, no, wait, you're the type, gotta remember type matchups person. Okay, now I know where this cave feeds out to. I've been here. Alright, let's see if we can dodge all the Pokemon one-handed while reading chat and not being able to move the camera. This is never gonna end well, is it? Oh, well, the camera adjusted a little bit by, you know, okay, well, it went into the ground there, but at least I'm directly in front of it instead of it being to the side. Let's see. Yep, well, there's one of the things that was going to bug me. That's fine, Sableye, you can just do that. I'll just pause the game and then read chat. It's a level 44 Sableye. Holy hell, that's like higher than the levels of some of the, like that's as high as the level of the tough trainers. Pokemon was real, you'd be terrified if you ran into Banette or Mimikyu. Know a lot of people like Mimikyu, but what's underneath can kill you, and it sucks when curiosity gets the better of you. Like Mimikyu, but you'd rather have a Mismagius. Yeah, there's a lot of Pokemon that could just kind of straight up kill you if they were real, so I could definitely see that being a bit of a problem. Galvantula is one hairy spider. Yeah, I used to really like Galvantula. Well, actually, I think I like Joltik more than Galvantula, but I don't know. I've sort of fallen off with it, probably because it hasn't really been in... I mean, I think it was in Gen 8, but it hasn't really been in the game since Gen 5. If you feel a chill, it's Gengar. Don't bother running, or something like that, yeah. Also because of you growing up liking witchcraft and paranormal stuff, started watching that stuff when you were 4. Okay, well, then that makes sense, too, then, yeah. I can see how it's appealing. Planing. Pokemon will straight up kill you, so will all those texture glitches. Yeesh, that was like 3 big ones. Yeah, Waka Waka. Going to a birthday today and you're just yapping about Pokemon. Well, that's okay. Hopefully the birthday you go to will be fun. But it's okay if you want to yap about Pokemon. That's what we're playing here, so you may as well yap about it where it makes sense, you know? So. Alright, so hopefully this guy doesn't just use Focus Blast everywhere. I mean, if he does, that's fine, because it'll just miss every single time. So. He's one of the 2 trainers I want to fight down here. There's one more trainer. I think it's either a student or... No, it's a student. I was going to say a backpacker, but there's a backpacker further down that I just don't want to fight. And then We'll go back up the cliffs. There's another hiker up there and another student and a worker, and then we're done in South Province Area 6. And we can go back to North Province Area 3 and just fight all 6 of the trainers up there, too. You know what, Interceptor? You just stay out, because playing rough with this guy is going to work out pretty nicely for us. So you just do that. For those of you that weren't here when I gave all my Pokemon hold items, in case you're wondering why I have literally not missed a play rough in a million years, despite it having 90% accuracy, Interceptor has a wide lens, so yeah, we're not going to be... Ideally, we won't be missing our play roughs very often. So... You know, I kind of wonder about that. Like, most of the time with Psychic-type gym leaders in the past, they've done, like, they've had, like, an actual background as a Psychic. Tulip just seems to be a makeup artist, so, like, what's the relationship between makeup artist and Psychic types? Like, Sabrina had to train her entire life in Psychic-type, like, in actual, like, telekinesis and stuff in order to be a Psychic-type gym leader. How did Tulip earn that honor? By doing emotional spectrum exercises? I don't fully understand. 19, 14, 26, 23. Alright, Roxas, you're up again. And look at that. Yukiko is just about keeping up with everybody now. That's a good thing. Pokemon are glow in the dark. Oh, that's just everyone, huh? Yeah, we have like a weird backdrop to us in the dark. I don't know what that's all about. It's like a glow effect almost, but I don't know. Alright, well, Roxas should be able to take care of this thing. We should be faster than a Veluza that's, you know, probably 10 levels lower than us. Oh, 13. Well, even better. Bam! Never mind. Again, we think too much about all the weird texture things going on. It's just going to hurt our brains. So let's just. We'll talk about it in the review at the very end of this whole thing. So, that's a smaller Bayartic. Or maybe the trainer's just larger than Grusha. No, he looks like he's about the same size as Grusha. That's a smaller Bayartic, because Grusha's Bayartic was like 2 Grushas. I don't know if you want to take a selfie of your defeat, but you could take a selfie of the rest of the water out there. You know, I haven't taken a picture for my trainer profile yet, like for my trainer card. I should probably do that at some point. You definitely have an Espeon, because people always ask you, how did you know what you were thinking? Like, I don't know, I guess I could just read people easily. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Having that ability is a good thing to have, but it would make people think that you're psychic, so... Never seen one of those Velu things before. I think, if I remember correctly, the Cascarafa gym leader had one as well. So, it's not a common Pokemon necessarily, unless you like going out in the water a lot. If you like going out in the water a lot, it's in a lot of places in, like, the East Paldean Sea and West Paldean Sea, North Paldean Sea, I imagine. But it's a menace out there, because I mean, basically what they do is they spot you, and they swim in a straight line as fast as possible. Like, we're talking Espathra level speeds here. So... really, really fast directly at you. Thankfully, you can avoid them fairly easily by just, you know, moving slightly to the left or right, because they're literally just torpedoes with no control, like guidance control or whatever. But yeah, they're a menace out there, especially when you're in Casseroya Lake and the frame rate is dipping into the single digits regularly. Yeah, like this game, actually. Thanks for demonstrating. Christ's sake. That's not a trainer, that's a bombardier walking around. Alright, I'm looking for a student and another hiker up here. There's the hiker. I don't know where the student is, though. Well, yeah, there's a lot of, well, hiking you can do up and around here, huh? 3 Pokemon you could most likely have in real life would be Espeon, Smagus, and Houndoom, because you know damn well you'd be going out on adventures trying to win some battles or stupidly joining some evil organization. Just kidding about the evil organization, or could I? Who knows, basically a whole new life. Yeah, I mean, you might as well imagine it as being more interesting, you know what I mean, if it's a whole new life. Joining an evil organization doesn't have the same repercussions in a Pokemon world as it does in you know, real life would, so. Might as well yak it up while you're there, you know what I mean? So. Shift gear, huh? Well, I could learn shift gear, but I don't know that I'd ever really use it over Thunderwave, so I'm not going to do that. Also, Petal Blizzard is a physical move, so we won't bother with that either. Can I help you, Espatra? Are you waiting for me to finish this battle so you can run right into me to demonstrate the kind of speed you've got going? Oh my god, there's a second one. I mean, I could do without some of the valleys, to be fair, but, you know, I guess if you had all peaks, you wouldn't recognize the peaks as peaks, right? It's that whole if everybody's super, nobody can be type of a deal. Alright, let's see if we can find this student, and then there's one more trainer that I want to fight in this area. And after that, we're good. I think, if I remember right, the student's out in the middle of one of these fields. I don't know which one, though. Maybe that's them right there. Well, it looks like a student, so I'll take it. If they are the student I was looking for, cool. If they're not, well, they are now. Sachin will make it double and make it trouble. Doesn't help a lot when you get leg aches 24/7. Yeah, that wouldn't be so good, honestly. I know the feeling about getting leg aches. Not 24/7, but leg aches are no fun. So. Yeah, he's got a spring sawsbuck. I guess that makes sense considering it's the South Province. This is what it normally is. It'd be interesting if he had a different one, though. Like, maybe a summer or fall one. Probably a summer one, because that's in the East Province, and that's as far, not as far away as you could possibly get from here, but we're in the southwest corner. So northeast would be as far away as possible. Golduck, huh? I don't think I'm getting Shaylee in for this battle, but that's okay. Let's see here. I could switch in the captain. I'm gonna switch in the captain. I mean, I have super effective moves on Houseplant and Roxas, but they're already a little bit ahead of everybody else, so let's just switch the captain and let him go on blast a little bit. On the wind, past the stars, in your ears! Causing chaos at a breakneck pace. See, that I feel like is also a Team Rocket thing, but I don't think I watched enough of the anime to know that one. When did they start doing that one? You did 24/7 because of a condition you were born with. Oh, okay. Well, that sucks. Sorry to hear that. Well, I would say I hope that it's lessened at some point, but if it's something you were born with, then yeah, I don't know how that could be lessened. I wonder, though, if there's anything like... Because when I get... Sometimes I get aches around my Achilles now because I hurt my Achilles a few months back. So I get aches around my Achilles, but mostly if I'm sitting still for too long. Like if it's just kind of me not moving around and being active, my Achilles starts aching like it wants me to move around. So I wonder if maybe like moving around will help with the aches, but I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so obviously take this with a grain of salt. But I wonder if moving around more, like, and you know, just being physically fit, active every day might help with the aches, but I mean, I don't know. Wait, hang on, what did you say? Oh. Yeah, that's because she hates those stairs. Because she's not willing to try to train herself in anything but Pokemon battles. It's a problem, I'm telling you. These people need to try to do something other than what they're good at. It's the only way that, like, that's literally how you add texture to your life. Do something you're not good at. I was gonna talk about it later when we actually have Nemona's character development, but I guess I'll talk about it now since we got like a full minute before we get to the worker that I need to fight off in the distance. One of the things about me is that, like, I was never particularly good at sports, but I was always really good academics-wise in school, all the way through like middle school and high school. And so then what I ended up doing in high school, because I just started getting kind of bored with the academics part, is I started joining like sports. I did golf, I did tennis, I did soccer, just things that I generally was really bad at. Like, it was actually like not even like, oh, you know, he's kind of okay. No, like genuinely really bad at the vast majority of them. And a lot of people were like, well, why are you doing this? You're so good at the academics. Why wouldn't you just stick with that? And it's like, you just literally answered the question for me. Because I'm so good at the academics, I'm incredibly bored by them. I want to do something that I'm not good at because it's something I can improve at. Like, maybe if Nimona did anything remotely resembling that, I'd have a little more respect for her. But she's literally just doubling down, which means she sees that there's a problem. She's too good at battling. But instead of, I don't know, doing anything else, she just doubles down on it. And I can't respect that because it's a really easy problem to fix, and she's choosing not to. Nimona doesn't even do leg day? Sad. Yeah, no, she doesn't do leg day. She's very much... Like, if there's anything Nimona does that is not just being very good at Pokemon battles in this game, it's complain about having to walk long distances. So... Dashing Hope, putting fear in its place. We're Team Rocket. In your face! Alright, that one's pretty good. Probably part of the explorers trying to steal some dumb 12-year-old's pennant and bullying Amethio because he's stupid. I don't even know who Amethio is, but that's a heck of a name. Oh, this Electros can't be hit by Earthquake. Good thing I got a Moxie boost. I can just crunch it to death. It's got Levitate in case you were unfamiliar with Electros. It's another electric type from Gen 5 I've fallen off with, along with Galvantula. I used to like it a lot, probably because of Levitate ability, but not so much nowadays. Wow, your team is really just absolutely annihilated by Crocodile, isn't it? Do leg days, especially when you have a Border Collie in the house, they need a lot of walking. Ooh, yeah, that definitely would be, yeah. Border Collies need a lot of exercise, so that's a good time to do leg day. Get them out and active with you. Kick Nimona in the not she'd kick mine. I don't know, I get the impression from what I've heard and seen about Nimona that she's not particularly physically active, so I don't know if she could kick someone in the but you know. Nah, I'm good, man. I can handle myself out here. I will do that, even though I've met my fair share of strange people and Pokemon in all of these regions, but you know. Alright, we'll put on the winter uniform when we get over here because I'll get a sufficient enough chance to dry off from this random rainstorm. So. Oh, in battle? Yeah, in battle I could see it, honestly. Yeah, because it's raining over here too? What the hell? It's gonna be all soaking wet and I'm gonna have to put on the new clothes with these being soaking. Well, I guess it'll give these a chance to dry then, I suppose. You know, why does everybody's suit look like it's wet? You know what I mean? Like Nurse Joy's outfit looks like it's got moisture in it. Mine looks like it has moisture in it. There's a roof over this place, isn't there? Yeah, so why are we all like soaked? Don't ask questions, consume video game. I'm gonna see if Nasty Plot is available from the TM machine. Hold on. I need to distract myself from that. Fake Tears, Thief, Snarl, Taunt, Foul Play, Flame, Dark, Pulse Crunch. Yeah, no, so you need to get it from that quest with Miss Rhyfor before you can do that. But yeah, see what I mean? The rainstorm stopped, now our clothes are back to normal. Nurse Joy's clothes don't look moisturized anymore. Like, how... I guess the rain could come in sideways, but it didn't look like it was. How is it getting in there? Hot take, Raichu is just as cute, if not more so, than Pikachu. Yeah, I don't know if that's a hot take, honestly. I feel like there's a lot of people who like Raichu, but hey, fair enough. Cheat Feint your 3 Pokemon in Confrontation. Your Pokemon were which ones? Espeon, Mismagius, and Houndoom. So Houndoom and Palmot takes care of Houndoom. Let's see what she got. Well, I guess on my team she's got Meowscarada for Mismagius, and that takes care of Espeon as well. So yeah, with the team that she has in this playthrough, it might be a little tough for you, yeah. I could kick Nimona in and out of battle. Oh boy. Yeah, it could be the snow. That's true too. Although I think, well, no, it's not snowing anymore. But, well, maybe we'll see. If there's a snowstorm at any point, we'll see if that changes the texture on my clothes, you know. Either way, let's get these off because they're probably all wet and it's very cold up here and I don't really want to sit with this stuff. And again, this is not necessary in any meaningful way. I'm just doing it because aesthetically speaking, it adds texture, you know what I mean? Like, I really like that in video games, though, when you have to change outfits in order to go to a warmer or a colder region. Like, it makes the region that you're in feel more organic and alive. I don't know why. Maybe it's just a me thing, but like that's just... It feels like there's a greater chance for attention to detail when you have that as an option. You know what I mean? So, oh no, hang on. I need to get a house plant instead because everybody's 52. We are gaining the levels quite quickly, though. So that's a good thing, at least. Alright, so no real plan here. Just fight and defeat all of the trainers and then get the heck out of Blighttown 2.0 here. Yeah, well, you could thank Team Star for that one, unfortunately. But yeah, we should be able to beat all of these trainers. There's 5 regular trainers and 1 tough trainer. And we should be able to beat them all between now and 10:30, I think. My clock says 10:19, although it could be 10:21. Excuse me. Oh, good. Shadow Tag and Hypnosis. Actually, I don't know that this thing has Shadow Tag. I think that's a hidden ability, but... Yeah, gotta go fast. Gotta get moving before the snow starts flying again. I'm just gonna stay in. I don't really even care. Like, I should be able to take the hits, especially after Seed Sowering. I think Pokemon Mega Voltage will be good, because you believe they're bringing back Mega Evolution for Legends EA. You know, that would be an interesting thought, because, like, they haven't had Mega Evolution in a while, but I feel like that's been the most widely accepted gimmick that they've had out of all the gimmicks they did. Because, like, Z-Moves, a lot of people complained that they weren't great. Dynamax, a lot of people complained that it bent the metagame over backwards. And then Terra-types, I mean, I haven't really heard a lot from people about Terra-types, but I still feel like people aren't quite as, like, on about Terra-types as they were about Mega Evolution. Mega Evolution was kind of the first big gimmick, and I think a lot of people latched onto it as being interesting, even though it also bent the metagame over backwards, but, you know, I feel like people were more receptive of it. Probably because it was the first one. I don't know. Well, that's fair. You had to get it out somehow, right? If I remember right, the tough trainers down this path here. I think 3 of the trainers are on the beach, and one of them is over by where I hunted all those Chansey before. So, they probably did, only for me to come in and trash it in like 3 seconds. Whoops. Okay, down the beach we go. Slowly. So the other trainer's either down this path or up this way. I'm going to go this way first. I think it's a Pokemaniac, if I remember the map correctly. I looked on the region map before I did this, just so I kind of had a vague idea of where everybody was, in case anyone's wondering. I don't know if that's such a good idea, especially since they're basically defunct now. Been a bit wet around the mountain since the coal incident. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't have committed that war crime. Whoops. Mid. Mega Evolution just hit right. Cool power-up, cool designs, freaky lore. Yeah, and the freaky lore, too, was awesome. Because all the Pokemon, it's like they were forced into their perfect form that they didn't want. It's like, oh my lord. Like, have some mercy on the poor Pokemon. Jeez. Incidentally, Larvesta is cool. I like Larvesta. I'm a bigger fan of Larvesta than Volcarona, if I'm quite honest. I just like the contrast between the red and the white and the just stark blue eyes that it has. Such a cool little design. I've used a Larvesta competitively, actually, in really low-tier competitive metas. I just gave it an Eviolite and gave it, what did I give it? U-Turn, Flare Blitz, I forget what else. A couple of other things that I don't remember. But it was actually pretty good, all things considered. Electric. I could switch in Shaylee, but let's switch in Roxas. Why not? Alphas were neat too. Which ones were the alphas? Am I misremembering? No, alphas were the ones from Legends Arceus, right? They were the big Pokemon, like the ones that were much larger than a normal Pokemon. So, this is what I get for not playing Legends Arceus. I just don't remember anything about it. Probably because they couldn't defeat me either. Well, I get the feeling by the time you have the strength for Team Star, they're gonna be long gone. Sorry, man. smashing your dreams all the way around. Alright, let's see what this Terra is. Oh, Chansey. Do I fight this Chansey? I mean, I'm just encountering it randomly, but I feel like I'd have to do too much switching around if I did that, so let me not, actually. 1-star Terra Ice Hoppip. Grass Ice is really interesting coverage, but I don't know if a Hoppip is the best Pokemon to do it with. I think if I remember correctly, you can go this way up the mountain and come back down and around here to get to Sokarat Trail, but we'll go to Sokarat Trail ourselves when we go to Casaroya Lake, so I'm not really super concerned about it. Let's go down to the beach instead. Oh, Poison Terra Shards, okay. Hop down here. I think I see one person already down there. Let me just clamp to the wall, slide my way down. There we go. Catch the wind on our way down. Is there a person over there, too? I'm gonna go find out. Oh, look, an Ice-Q. I heard me call its name. Many Ice-Q. I don't really know much about Ice-Q, for what it's worth, but I feel like it's kind of... Ooh, Steel Beam, wow. Kind of interesting from a design perspective. Was that a Glimmet? Yeah, over in the distance there. That's a wild Glimmet over there. We haven't fought any of these yet, so I guess I might as well fight it just so I have it in my Pokedex. Be careful if you walk up to these things, though, because just like Wild Voltorb, they will explode, so just be careful. I think it's Rock Poison, if I remember right. Yeah, buddy. Now, remember that Glimmet and its evolution, which is Glimmora, they have access to the Toxic Debris ability, because we'll see that later as well. Oh, good. Now the entrance is completely blocked. Again! I'm getting off of Miraidon. I gotta get out of here. Oh, well, I'm not getting out of here like that. I guess the only way out is through. And unfortunately, this Dugtrio is faster than me. Your humble opinion, Ultra Sun and Moon seem to come together real well battle-wise. Sun and Moon was your first game. See, and I think that's another thing, is I didn't play Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon because I just wasn't a big fan of regular Sun and Moon, so I never played the Ultra variations. Man, Pokemon really tend to congregate around these cave entrances, don't they? It's too bad. I probably should have gotten the lighthouse before I went in here. It would make it easier to get out of here. Okay, that's just a Pokemon that was in the wall. Like, oh, okay. Apparently I'm going to heaven because look at this friggin' texture going on here. What is this? Okay, it's back to normal now. The Ice-Q were like, the Sun God! The Sun God was coming to visit us! This game, man. Yeah, I think there's 3 trainers on the beach. We fought 2 already. There's 3 trainers on the beach and then the 1 tough trainer, so we'll see what we can do about that. Which of you 2 needs the most? 580, 706. You're pretty close together, so Yukiko, you're up. You're going all the way up here for a picnic with your girlfriend? Isn't it a little cold on this beach for a picnic? Be like going to 9 Mile Point for... No, actually, there would be a lot more problems going to 9 Mile Point for a picnic. If you don't know what 9 Mile Point is, well, I just gave you something interesting that you can go and look up now. I saw 9 Mile Point while I was on my vacation, though, on my drive up to the mountains. So. It was interesting. It wasn't something I've heard about it, but it was something that I've never actually seen with my own eyes. And I didn't see it directly. I could see it across the lake from the state park that I stopped at. So it was actually, like I said, it was actually a pretty interesting experience because I didn't even know it was there. And I was like, what in the heck is that? And it just said on one of the signs on the beach there, it's like, that's 9 Mile Point off in the distance. I'm like, oh, wow, so that's where that is. The more you know. Was unfortunately on your way out of actively playing the games for a long while. You haven't really finished a game proper way since Black 2, the proper way since Black 2. Yeah. Honestly, I feel kind of like similar. For me, it was Pokemon X. That was the last one I really finished all the way through. And I don't know. Honestly, like I don't want to say I dislike X and Y. I just think that they're really easy games, and it's just really hard to justify replaying them when they're so simple. So it kind of has a similar problem in terms of difficulty that this game has, in that there's like very little to challenge you, on top of like a lot of the major characters of the game have very little direct involvement in the story. But I don't know. I think I like X and Y better than this game, though, for sure. Like, I don't think that's a contest, honestly. Whoa. Okay, that Kilowattra wanted to be on the ground quick. Yeah, Black and White 2 I thought was really good, honestly. I enjoyed it. Actually, it's funny because Black and White 2, I really thought that the Pokédex in Black and White 2 was going to be my favorite out of any of the games that I played. And I think it's still pretty damn good, but and I hate to, you know, make a good point in this game's favor, but this game's Pokédex gives Black and White 2's Pokédex a run for its money. There are a lot of really good Pokemon in the Pokédex in Scarlet and Violet. I just wish there was more of an actual game to make it worth having such a diverse Pokédex. Like a video game that's actually got some challenge in it to acknowledge the, you know, fact that you've got all these cool Pokemon, but not really much of a reason to replay because the game doesn't have level scaling, isn't particularly difficult, and, you know, I could go on. And I will when we eventually get to the review of the game at the end, but although honestly I'm probably going to have to, like, thinking about it, I'm going to have to mute the audio when we're doing the review in the credits. I don't know. Don't ask me, ma'am. I'm just a kid, and I have picnics all the time. Ice Cube, can I just, like... Thanks. But, yeah. I'll have things to say, but I'll have to mute the, whatchamacallit. Ooh, okay. Thought the game froze for a second there. I'll have to mute the audio for the end credits of this game, because if I remember correctly, they're, like, copyrighted or something. It'll be like the end of Final Fantasy 13 all over again. I've never been up here before. More Team Star deserters, huh? Now this is a fly point now, right? Because that's why, yeah, I was gonna say, that's why I came up here. Because this lighthouse is now a fly point. So that's cool. That one's easy to miss, if I'm honest with you, because you might not... I mean, it's a part of the Team Star base. It's fenced in and everything, so you might not think, oh, this is a fly point, but yeah, no, it is. 4-star Terra Electric Rapska. Okay. Interesting. The 4-star ones, if I remember correctly, are like level 45. So, pretty powerful, but not really worried about it. Not something I'm planning on fighting. Oh, Wild Gastrodon. EC even. Alright, so there's one more trainer here, if I remember correctly, somewhere on the beach here. Don't know where exactly, unless it's the tough trainer, in which case that's fine. Then we can just fight the tough trainer and then the other trainer once we get up here. Whoop. Sorry, Vivillon. I see the tough trainer. That's that musician that's over there in the distance. So, guess we'll go fight them. Not had a picnic in ages. Yeah, I haven't been in a picnic myself in real life in a million billion years. There's a Terra-type Sylveon. So that would have the fairy type. I guess that makes sense around here. Inner Unovan wants to argue about the decks, but yeah, at least we got a few good ones. Looking at you, Joltik. Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I think it depends on the day, honestly. Like, which Pokedex I prefer, Scarlet and Violet's versus this game's. But there's just, it's really easy for me to make a team in this game because there's just so many good, like, Pokemon that I can see myself using. That's why I've had specialists for the Team Star bases. That's why I'm training a reserve team and everything like that, because there's just so many good ones. It's like I can't pick all the ones that I want to use, especially since this is the last Pokemon game I'm planning on playing above Gen 5. Like, after this, the plan is basically to go back to Gen 5 and then work my way backwards to Gen 1, although I've already played Gen... well, it would be Gen 1 and then Gen 2, because Gen 2 kind of is like an extension of Gen 1, so the story follows it. I already played Gen 3, not planning on playing Gen 4, just not a big fan of it. So basically, like, the other 4 Pokemon games I'll be playing is 2 games in Gen 5, 1 game in Gen 1, and 1 game in Gen 2. Why do you have to proc Cute Charm when you're fainting? It's literally going to go away in 5 seconds. What's the point of that? But yeah, so, like, since I'm going to be going so far backwards, there's, like, 4 generations worth of Pokedex entries that I just will never be able to see again after this game is over. So I almost feel obligated to, like, take my time and use several Pokemon that are from these more modern generations that we just will never see again, because if I don't, well, we won't have a chance to use them. Of course, the trouble then is I'm like, okay, well, I want to do that, and then here it is, a Crocodile on my team. It's like, if you want to use the epitome of Gen 5 Pokemon, this is the epitome of Gen 5 Pokemon right here. Crocodile is just one of those Pokemon, man. It's just like, it's so iconic to Unova. And here I am using it all the way out here instead of, I don't know, a Sandaconda or a Palisand or something like that. I mean, I don't mind it. It's fine. It worked out fine because there's ground types that I can use in Gen 5. See, the tricky part about Gen 5 that I kind of had to plan around a little bit is that when I make the teams for Gen 5, I have to figure out how to do it such that the ground types can learn Earthquake by level up. Because you can't get the Earthquake TM in either of the Gen 5 games, if I remember correctly, until the post-game. So, because of that, I'd either be relying on Bulldoze or Dig the entire time, or I'd have to get something that learns it by level up, so that way it doesn't become a problem. So, and honestly, that's even honestly another reason, another point in Crocodile's favor, because Crocodile learns Earthquake by level up. But I used it for this playthrough, so we won't use it for the Gen 5 playthroughs. We'll use other things instead. So, okay, so if the tough trainer's here, that means that the other trainer must be further up the path there then. 35, 43, 26, 21. All right, so you, and then we'll switch to Interceptor if need be. But yeah, we'll just find this last trainer, and then we'll get the heck out of here forever because I don't want to be here in 4 FPS town. Like, at all. Ever again. Yeah, there's the last trainer right there. Alright, so we'll fight this person. And then we'll call it quits on this area. I mean, maybe. You'd still have to deal with the 2 FPS every now and then. Esther the office worker, but, you know. You leave it to Vinny to play through ZA, you'll check out the streams or VODs. Yeah, there you go. Like, just let somebody else play it. I'm not planning on playing Legends ZA, so that's just, you know, I'll leave it to other people to do that. I think this game has been enough modern Pokemon for me forever, so I'm sure the games have will have an opportunity over the course of the next few years to get better. I'm willing to give them that opportunity, but I won't be there to see it. So, I already know you're going to grab Meganium for your starter, then immediately replace it with a Delphox. Sorry, Meganium, you're not that great. Oh, you grab a Totodile, too. I don't know, I'm biased, though. I like Feraligatr a lot. It's probably my favorite starter, so. Yeah, I do go to the Pokemon Centers quite a lot, actually, now that you mention that. So, alright, so what do we have left? We have North Province Area 1, North Province Area 2, and then Casa Royal Lakes Pokemon trainers. Once we're done with those 3 areas, we are ready to go take on the Elite Four, whether we're level 58 or not. Although Casa Royal Lakes Pokemon trainers are all like level 54 and above. So I am pretty sure we're going to get a fairly substantial amount of experience from them, and we're at level 52 or 53 now anyway. So, like, we've got quite a lot of potential experience to gain, and, well, about 3 hours before we really have to worry about, you know, and by 3 hours I mean the next episode of Pokemon Violet, the Stream Edition, but about 3 hours before we have to worry about being at the Pokemon League. I'm not sure if we'll make it to the league by the end of the next... Oh, you know what I didn't do is I didn't go grab the reward for North Province Area 3. I'll go grab that now. Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll make it to the Elite Four in the next episode, but maybe near the end. Like, if we manage to get all the trainers done in these few areas in, like, the first couple of hours, we'll go fight the League in the last hour-ish of the next stream. I'm not sure. We'll see. Although, honestly, there's no distractions now, so, like, all I have to do is fight, you know, the trainers here, trainers here. There's only 6 trainers in North Province Area 2 anyway, and I think there's, like... I want to say 9 in North Province Area 1, including the 3 tough trainers, and then there's 16 in Casaroya Lake. So a lot of trainers to fight, but nothing to distract me from fighting them. So we basically just wander around, fight them, and then we're good to go. So maybe we'll be able to take on the Pokemon League on the next episode of Pokemon Violet, the Stream Edition, which will be happening on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Let's see what our reward was for this area. Leaf Storm. Okay, fair enough. They're throwing out all of these really powerful TMs anyway, so that would make sense. Stoutland, Galvantula, Klinklang, forget the rest that you were using. Mostly been dwelling in the Mystery Dungeon games. The formula there is creaking with age, to be honest. Kinda wish we got a Gen 5 to 8 Pokemon Ranger game. Pretty sure the series is dead, though. Yeah, Pokemon Ranger's one I've never really been able to get my hands on. I just never got it when it came out, and, well, then the series wasn't really around anymore after that. So, don't really know what team you plan to use for Legends EA, but you'll definitely have an Espeon and a Mega Houndoom in it. Yeah, fair enough, honestly. Might as well use the ones you like for the first playthrough, you know? So, we can be more unorthodox later. But yeah, so we will come back to this in just a little while, a couple of days, and we will fight the last of the trainers that we need to fight, at the very least. If not, fight the whole Elite Four. We'll see what happens. So thank you for watching, everybody. I appreciate you checking out the stream. And I'll see all of you on the next one, which, as I said, will be on Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Until then, everybody, take care, and have a good one. You know, honestly, though, I thought about one of the reasons why I didn't use Go-Goat or Lycanroc as main team members. There was this Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, like, modded game that somebody was making that I thought was really cool. It was really hearkening back to, like, the classic Mystery Dungeon formula for me. It hasn't been updated in a while, from my understanding, though. Maybe I'll look at it between streams and see if it's been updated, just to see if it's there, because it had a Skiddo and a Rockruff as starter Pokemon, so honestly, that's all I needed to hear.